Getting nasty on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie Rivers is off today. He'll be with us tomorrow for a couple of hours before the Blues take on the Kings in Los Angeles. The Cardinals are up 5-0 on the Mets right now in the top of the 8th in spring training. That's the good news.
World Series champs.
Bad news, Carey, might want to hold off on that.
What happened?
Is that Derek Gould tweeting out about an hour ago now. Jordan Walker left the game here in West Palm Beach with pain in his left knee. He will be reevaluated once the team returns to Jupiter to determine cause and severity. He left after one at-bat and then catching a fly ball in right field in the second inning. That's all we know. That's all we're going to know probably for the majority of our show. But we'll certainly update you if there's any sort of update that we can provide from here as the Cardinals continue to play the Mets. Injuries are always the thing that can throw the what-ifs for a loop. All right? Like the injuries are the one thing that you can count on because they will happen.
Right.
But you cannot account for. You can have a pivot. You can say, well, if we have injuries, let's have the best bench possible. But you're still working with bench players. You're still working with backups. You're still working with guys that would be starting on other teams if, in fact, they were starters.
If they were good enough.
If they were good enough. So Jordan Walker being hurt, again, we don't know the severity of the injury right now. Could be just a cautious thing. Let's hope it is. But this is the one thing, again, that you really can't account for. Outside of just saying, next man up, and having somebody else step up.
Well, like I said, injuries are inevitable in sports, and you'd hope that it's nothing serious or too severe. Maybe it's just precautionary. Maybe he felt a little something in his knee, and it's spring training. No need to push through and continue to fight through it. But hopefully the reports come back. If it's not something where you can visibly see, a knee popping, or we've seen videos of guys when they're running that tendon actually pops, that ligament. You've seen those things. So if it's nothing like that, I think it'll be okay. We just have to wait and see. But that is why you have depth. That's why you sign certain players. I know they didn't sign anyone in particular this year. Hellman. Huh?
That was a trade.
That was a trade. They didn't even have to sign him. Yeah, they traded for him.
They traded for him, huh?
Yes.
They didn't sign a person.
They didn't sign a player from the outside.
Well,
like Nick Anderson got, I think, a
minor league
invitation to spring training, but that's about it, Bob.
So, well, you got enough here. That's the mindset. That's philosophy.
So if he is out for an extended period of time, you're just now talking about Gorman being inserted into the lineup. That's how I see things.
Some way, somehow. Burley plays right field.
Right.
Gorman is your DH.
Or you have who'd you say?
Burley plays right field. Gorman plays DH. I got Lars. Well,
or you could have Gorman at second base. Burleson or Contreras is your DH. The other one plays first base. And then your outfield consists of Donovan, Ciani, or Scott, and then Newt.
Okay.
That's how I think they will go. The majority of that, because look, there's always there's going to be matchups. There's going to be, maybe Gorman sits against left-handers and all that. Or they're going to play the matchup game. They're going to continue to play the matchup game.
I got Donnie at second base. I got Lars in left. I got Scott or Ciani, Scott in center field. And you figure out right field. Who do there's an injury.
Who do you trust more, Gorman at second base or Burleson in the outfield?
Burleson in the outfield.
He's made a few decent plays out in the outfield over his time, in left field.
Yeah, he improved a year ago. I don't think either is a liability defensively at those respective positions. I also don't think either are elites. They don't. We're not talking about Mason Wynn at short or Arenado at third, or even Donovan in left field, where I think he plays a really nice left field. And he's not elite. He's not elite at defender. He's really good. But again, I don't think you have a liability in one of those guys defensively.
I think for me, I would probably put Burleson out in the outfield because I like Donovan more so at second base, and with Ciani/Scott in center field, maybe you can, cover a little bit more ground out in the outfield. So, and we've talked about it. What is this defense going to look like? I'm putting my best defense out there if there is an injury to occur.
Sure.
So, again, he could be fine. And like you said, Carey, this is just like a cautionary thing that they're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how injuries play for this team throughout the season, because there are players who have been prone to be injured in their career.
Now, when you say that, who's the first name that comes to mind, and why is it Steven Matz?
Oh, you're talking about current Cardinals?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, no, he gone.
When you said injuries and
Yeah.
consistently,
I just meant
not
right now.
playing a lot.
current
Lars
Cardinals.
Newbar.
Yeah, it's another. So I think Steven Matz probably is the face of injuries for the pitchers,
Yep.
and Lars Newbar could be the face of the injuries for the position players.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair too. Yeah. You guys want some good spring training news?
Love it.
All right.
Please.
You got some young pitchers pitching well. How about Matthew Liberatore thus far? He's been excellent. I think he's retired every batter thus far that he has faced. I think he's faced 15 batters at this point. He's got 6 strikeouts. I don't know if he pitched yet today, but Liberatore has looked good. I'm sorry, I just read Gordon Graceffo's numbers, who I was going to get to. So Gordon Graceffo is the one that's got the 6 Ks. Liberatore, though, has looked excellent as well. Now, I don't know if this means that Gordon Graceffo is going to get an early look at the big league starting rotation at some point, April or May. Probably not. But at least he's pitching well, CD.
Why not, Anthony? Why wouldn't you give guys a chance if they're playing well?
Well, because
that doesn't make any sense,
the Cardinals like to block their young players.
Why?
At times.
That's not how that works.
To frustrate the fan base.
I think Graceffo, if anything, he's a bullpen arm. I think the one guy that you're looking at now to be that young starting pitcher is Michael McGreevy.
So McGreevy's had an excellent spring as well. Would you just put these guys, because here's, and I'm not saying all of them, but your bullpen, we have not spent a lot of time talking about the bullpen.
No.
You lost Andrew Kittredge. It wasn't that long ago where you felt pretty good 7, 8, 9. Do you feel that way now? Like, do you like the options from the starter to Ryan Helsley in the 9th? Because there's some questionable arms.
I think it's just tough. It's like this whole season is I have to see it to believe it type thing. Like, I need to see what it looks like early in the season for me to really jump on board. That doesn't mean I won't jump on board or that I can't see this team having some success. But it is really, I need to see it to believe it in order for me to really just have some excitement level. I'm interested right now in what things look like, but I want to be excited. Give me a reason to be excited. And you're right, we really haven't talked about the bullpen, but I'm interested to see what it looks like.
There's kind of two. I don't think the Cardinals will do this. I think they'll probably send these young guys down to the minors to have them remain stretched out. But it's kind of an interesting thought if they were to roll with some of their young guys in the bullpen so that they get that big league experience. We have seen this in the past with guys like Adam Wainwright and Lance Lynn. I don't think Michael Wacha spent time in the bullpen initially. Now, when he was hurt, they did have him coming out of the pen in the postseason, unfortunately. But we have seen this before with the Cardinals where they have used young guys in the pen once they feel as though that they've shown enough at the AAA level. The only downside, like I just mentioned before, you would eventually, if you do have an injury, you'd have to have those guys get stretched out in the minors.
Yeah.
So go from the pen to the minors to get stretched out. But interesting thought nonetheless.
I think the best way for them to do it, I like having options and guys that are younger if they're not on the starting rotation. I think Matthew Liberatore is a guy that can be in the bullpen in year 5. I think that's actually where he's best suited. We've seen them try to make him a starting pitcher. I don't think that's who he is anymore. I think he's a reliever, and that's fine. He can have a great career doing that and be spectacular in that role. But when you're talking about some of these younger pitchers, if Graceffo isn't on the opening day roster, if McGreevy isn't, they should be down in the minors because inevitably, some point you're going to run. You just mentioned the name Steven Matz as the poster child for injuries here for St. Louis Cardinals. At some point, you're going to get a guy that has to miss a start or three. And if you got that guy in the bullpen and you're talking about, he got to get stretched back, let them go do what they need to do in the minors. Stay stretched out. Stay ready for their opportunity. If for whatever reason you don't have them on the opening day roster, McGreevy, I think we saw something last year. I think when you see something, you should dive deeper into that and really take a look and say, it's interesting. Is this something that can be recreated over and over and over again, or was this just a one-off? But the only way you know that is by giving them the opportunity to fail. And that's something that I've talked about. You have to give young players enough rope to fail and not feel like the moment I fail, I'm done. I got to go back down because you don't play well. The psyche of a professional athlete is, man, just let me play. If I know for a fact I can play, I can make mistakes, I can play freely, play my best game, I'm going to be good because this is what got me here.
Sure.
But the moment I start worrying about, if I don't strike out the side or if I give up a couple of hits, if I have an inning where I blow up, I know I'm gone, you're going to be thinking about that the entire time and you're not going to perform your best.
Is there a player on this team that would have you pleasantly surprised if they came out of the 2025 season with just a great year and you're like, wow, man, I did not see that coming? One of the young players. Is it Matthew Liberatore?
Yeah, there would probably be a part of me that says I didn't see that coming. Even though he was, the top left-hander at one point in the Rays organization, we were initially intrigued by him before Randy Arozarena decided to become Babe Ruth in the postseason.
Just one time.
I don't know if there's anybody. I don't know if there's anybody else. I would be really surprised by Ivan Herrera becoming like the everyday catcher.
Well, you get ready.
I would love to see that because that means the development happened rapidly for him defensively, and then you have his bat in the lineup, and Pedro Pajes is just a solid backup. But it would surprise me if his development was so rapid that again he became a full-time player. That would surprise me. In a pleasant way.
Would it surprise you if Ivan Herrera moved positions after this season?
Nah, he'll be left fielder probably at some point. If you can play the infield, you can play the outfield. That's the Cardinal way. It's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. CD said something yesterday in one of our Cardinals conversations that initially I'm like, wait, what? And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh no, CD's right. That's next on 101 ESPN. We have a great college basketball tournament that comes to St. Louis every year. It's Arch Madness. It's the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. It comes to Enterprise Center this week, March 6th, so Thursday, through March 9th, which will be the championship game. You'll have an opportunity to watch Drake or Belmont or Bradley or Northern Iowa. You can participate as well. You can take the entire family down to Enterprise Center at a pretty reasonable cost. $104 for the family fun pack gets you 4 single session tickets, 4 regular popcorns, and 4 large sodas. I've got a young family myself, so if you're a parent and you're like, okay, what can we do to get the kids out of the house? You're coming out of the winter month, you're getting eventually into spring. It's like, hey, what do we do? What's some fun events going on in St. Louis? Check out, again, the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, Arch Madness, this weekend. Family fun package to the 4 single-session tickets, the 4 large popcorns, and the 4 large sodas. Check out Drake, Bradley. Maybe you're an alum of one of the teams as well. Arch Madness, March 6th through the 9th. Carey said something yesterday in our opening Cardinals segment about whether or not the Cardinals are even in a retool. And when you said that, I thought to myself, like, well, no, of course they're in a retool. But then I started thinking about it today. I'm like, okay, how would I define a retool? And I would define a retool, and this is just me. Maybe, Carey, you have a different definition of it, or Marsh, you have a different definition, or you, the listener, has a different definition of a retool. But for me, it's when a team makes some changes to its roster while maintaining competitiveness. That's a retool.
I agree.
We're heading in one direction.
Adding a piece.
We know this isn't working, so we're going to pivot a little bit, but the core group remains because we believe in that core group, but we're going to add to it. Not just add from the standpoint of, we're in win now mode. We're just gonna add, and that's all we're gonna do, and we're just gonna continue to add like top end. I think of a retool as an understanding that what you're doing is not going to get you to that next step. So you need to make altercations in order to achieve what you want. In some respects, that does describe the Cardinals. They know that what they've been doing, kind of developing through the draft, but also adding, these veteran players on these deals that, as long as they make sense and everybody's comfortable financially for the ownership group, we'll add them, but we're not going to break the bank. They know that doesn't work. Not in today's game, where you have the Dodgers spending what they're spending, the Mets spending what they're spending, the Phillies and onward. So in some respects, the Cardinals are doing that. But it's more of a long-term retool then, because they want to invest in those young players, the development. I'm thinking this is more a 3 to 5 year project.
Which would be a
rebuild. But your traditional rebuilds would include
tearing it down to the studs.
Yes. So and they're not doing that either. Not all their fault in the case of Arenado, but also you haven't picked a lane yet.
So for me, the reason why I consider it a rebuild, no, you're not tearing it down to the studs, but you're moving in a way where you got a lot of younger guys that are starting to get more opportunities. Like for me, younger guy doesn't always necessarily mean in age. You could be a younger guy and be 25, 26 years old, but you're younger in terms of you don't have 3 years of service under your belt. You got a year and a half. You got 2 years. So you're starting to look at Burleson is an example of that. He's a guy that not young in terms of, age, but young in terms
of... He's not Walker. He's not Wynn.
But he's also not Arenado. He's also not Wilson Contreras. So he's young in terms of how many opportunities he's had. So now this is probably going to be his first full opportunity to be a starter and play 155 games, 150 games. Same thing with Mason Wynn, who is a younger player. Jordan Walker, we know he got injured today. Nolan Gorman, I think he's 26. He's still in that younger player realm because he hasn't had that full 2 to 3 seasons under his belt where I can count. Brendan Donovan is not a young guy, not in age or in playing, because he's been a starter. He's been doing his thing for a couple of years. You know what he brings to the table. But younger players, you don't know what they bring to the table because you haven't seen enough of them. So for me, it is sort of a rebuild, just not in the terms of stripping it down and bringing in a full group of new players that you don't know who they are.
Yeah, for me, when I think of retool, I'm thinking of what the Blues are doing right now, where they're being creative. They're bringing in players because some other players didn't really work. For me, I think the Cardinals are in more of like a restructure of their organization.
That's a great way to put it.
And right now, they're just kind of in waiting because, let's be honest, the roster really hasn't changed, minus a few people. Like Paul Goldschmidt isn't here, but you have a lot of the same faces from last season. So, what really is different? The guy that plays first base, I guess it's a big loss, depending on what he does this year. Like last year, it was whatever. But for me, it's a restructure because they're doing something completely different than what they've done in the past few years. However, we're not really going to see that on the field until maybe 2026, 2027, 2028. Who knows? It depends on how well they execute their plan. And I think there's a lot of people out there that are probably a little skeptic of that because their plan in the past hasn't worked out.
Right.
Whatever plan that was. So for me, it's a restructure. I don't think it's a rebuild. If these players aren't good, it could turn into a rebuild. But, when I just think of retool, I think of what the Blues are doing. And there's some teams that retool and they have no idea what they're doing. And they're stuck in a retool.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you want to do is be stuck in a retool instead of trying to just rebuild.
Yeah, I almost feel like the Cardinals have been in a retool.
Have they?
Yeah.
When?
Hear me out on this. A year ago, they were kind of in a retool. They realized, well, we don't have enough, but we're also not going to spend big, so we're going to bring in Lance Lynn, we're going to bring in Kyle Gibson, we're going to bring in Sonny Gray. Mm-hmm. We are going to fix the rotation in a retool because that's a pivot, right? We're going to pivot. We're not going to go with the young guys because that's kind of a rebuild. We're going to go with a retool. I think they have been in a retool. It wasn't working, so now a restructure, to Marsh's word, and I think it's perfect. Now a restructure has to happen.
When you bring in bridge players, it doesn't matter what sport it is. If there is a bridge player that you're bringing in, multiple bridge players, that to me is a retool.
Yeah.
So last year,
what's that?
It wasn't a good one.
Oh, I never said it was.
Yeah, there can be. So Carey, you're giving us the stink eye right now. I think a retool can fail.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In fact, I know a retool can fail because I think again the Cardinals have been retooling of late. With like kind of driving blind almost, but slowly adding pieces and trying to be creative within their own mind. Mm-hmm. But that didn't work. So I think, again, a retool, rebuilds can fail. Look at the 76ers. That has failed.
That was terrible.
Trust the process, rebuild, that has failed.
Yeah, it was bad.
So I think you can still have retools that fall flat.
It's a text here that I think is pretty good. Retool equals same philosophy, different players. Rebuild, different philosophy, different players. Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair, too.
Do you think the Cardinals have a different philosophy this year?
I think they have a different philosophy organization-wise. I don't know if they have a different philosophy on the field, which is why we continue to talk about, like, well, what is the vision? What's the plan? They got their feet in two boxes right now, trying to serve two masters. Like, that I think is why we're here, because they really haven't had an opportunity right this second because of Sonny Gray saying, I want to be back, and Contreras want to be back, and Arenado nixing the deal, to have a full rebuild or full retool.
To me, the Cardinals are pending right now. Like, they're either going to process or they're going to get declined. Like, right now, they are pending. This is what the 2025 season is for me. The Cardinals are pending. Do they have enough assets, or do they have enough skill level to let that card, that payment process, right? Or are they going to be declined?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it this year.
I now feel like the Cardinals, when you reboot a computer that needs to be updated, but you haven't maybe done it in a while.
And then it takes forever. And sometimes you're like, is this ever going to have, is my computer ever going to refresh? And it just has that spinning, circle that's constant. That, and you get frustrated, you want to just hit the reset button again. That's where I feel like the Cardinals are at. Well, or like a phone, like an
buffering, get from Gator.
Buffering,
That's a good one.
If you get an iPhone, but the new iOS doesn't really support your phone, so your phone just keeps dying or it just won't work anymore. But you're like, no, I gotta keep using this. I don't really want to pay for a new one, right? Until you actually have to. Like, that's kind of what it is for me right now. Like, the Cardinals are holding on to that old iPhone.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, crap.
It still works. I can still text.
I can
still call.
Yeah, but it's so many new features available.
I have my picture saved. It's good.
There is a cloud you can put all that stuff into.
All right.
Move on.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 to ESPN. Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, he wrote an article in which he broke down whether or not a general manager or a team would say yes or no to a certain trade. And he's got a lot of different examples involving Brayden Schenn. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Fellas, it's Carey, and we know how important working out is. It's shown to improve cardio, reduce stress, improve your mood, but you know what? There's something else that does that too. Yep, that's sex. You probably take a pre-workout or have coffee before training, so why should sex be any different? That's why more guys are turning to Blue Chew. Fellas, your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and if you're ready for a great offer, how about free? Go to BlueChew.com, get your first month free when you use our promo code WXOS at checkout, and just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code WXOS, and receive the first month free. Then you can chew it and do it. Blue Chew is your secret weapon in the bedroom, or whatever you want to get it on. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it ships right to your door in a discreet package. Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the U.S., and they prepare and ship directly, so it's cheaper than the pharmacy. Again, go to BlueChew.com, use the promo code WXOS, and you'll get your first month free, and then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Big news coming out of spring training. According to Derek Gould, Jordan Walker left the game here in West Palm Beach with pain in his left knee per St. Louis Cardinals. He will be reevaluated once the team returns to Jupiter to determine cause and severity. He left after one at-bat and then catching a fly ball in right field in the second inning. Cardinals taking on the Mets today. We talked a little bit about your St. Louis Cardinals. If you missed any of those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. The Blues off today, but they'll take on the LA Kings tomorrow in Los Angeles. Pregame for that one starts at 8:30. Puck drop at 9:30. We'll talk with Joe Vitale at 4:45. And we're going to dive into your St. Louis Blues next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
So the Oilers are positioning themselves for the playoffs. They acquired forwards Trent Frederick and Max Jones from the Boston Bruins in a multi-team trade today. The New Jersey Devils were the third party involved. The Devils retained 50% of Frederick's salary in the deal, sending Boston the rights to unsigned draft choice Peter Hauser and receiving unsigned draft choice Shane LeChance from Edmonton. So that was a three-team trade. And one of the people for elite prospects, Cam Robinson, had an interesting tweet. He tweeted this out not too long ago. He said, the Trent Frederick deal only further illustrates how much of a seller's market this is. Bubble teams need to take a serious look in the mirror and decide if this is really the season to go for it or soft sell and take advantage of the lack of options out there. So again, seller's market, according to Cam Robinson. This feeds perfectly into the Jeremy Rutherford's piece at the Athletic, in which he sat down with, well, he actually took some trade proposals from readers, and then he had an NHL executive and an NHL pro scout evaluate the trade proposals. This is really good. You got two people on the inside, two people that would have at least a faint idea of whether or not a deal that you submitted would get approved. So, for example, the one trade had the Blues sending Brayden Schenn and retaining the Blues would trade Brayden Schenn to the Maple Leafs and have 25% of his salary retained by Toronto for Fraser Minton, sorry if I'm hacking up these names, and Ben Danford. The exec said that's a realistic deal. I think that the Leafs are looking for a player like Schenn for the playoffs. He's a perfect playoff type player. And if you're the Leafs, you got to go all in. That to me sounds like a realistic deal. The scout, however, said neither of those two players, Minton and Danford, are really exciting, but they're good players. Who says no? Probably St. Louis. They'd be looking for something different. Any thoughts on this deal?
I mean, my whole thing for this trade deadline is, are these players that you could get back if they're prospects, are they ultimately going to make your team better? Mm-hmm. Like, for me, I think Brayden Schenn makes this team better. On and off the ice. I think you can't replace culture. I really don't. So
on that note, the other trade proposal, again, these are from readers. The Blues would send Brayden Schenn to Colorado, and the Blues would receive Casey Middlestat. Both the exec and the scout said no chance if you're the Blues. The Blues should hold on and get more, says the exec. The scout says no chance if I'm the Blues. I'm not a huge Middlestat fan. Blues, in another deal, would receive Dawson Mercer, Simone Nemec, and a second-round pick from the Devils for Brayden Schenn. The exec says that's a lot for the Devils to give up. And the scout says that's something St. Louis would do. So if you're looking at like a good deal for the Blues, at least in the minds of this one NHL exec and this one NHL scout, two players and a second-round pick for Schenn. Mm-hmm. Even if that might sound high, if you're the Blues, this might be a deal that they would do, or at least go to Brayden Schenn and say, would you waive your no-trade clause in order to get done? So to Marsh, your point, you're acquiring two players that are useful plus a second-round pick. It's not a situation where you're getting multiple draft picks and saying, we're good. That doesn't help you next season be a competitor. So I think the whole idea of trading Brayden Schenn really comes down to, can you acquire pieces, perhaps even multiple pieces, to help you contend a year from now? That, I think, is the key to any deal.
So we're not even – so we've talked about this in the past, and if you move on from Brayden Schenn, you're probably punting on the rest of this season, which
probably.
For me, at this point, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, okay, maybe. But this last stretch that they've had, they've been playing so well. I think it would be such a disservice to do that, to trade away the captain, to the leader of the locker room, the leader of the team, to move him on from this organization and this franchise, and to bring something back and say, all right, fellas, let's try to finish strong. Huh? How? Why?
Yeah.
Why would we do that? Why do you think that that's going to help us or push us in the right direction. I don't think that it helps and then you're looking at a team, you're already a team that has not been to the playoffs 2 seasons in a row, looking for possibly facing a 3rd season in a row of not making the playoffs, and to trade away your captain in this moment, especially as hard as they have been playing as of late. Again, if you'd have said this 2 to 3 weeks ago, pre-Four Nations tournament, I'd have said, oh, okay, man, whatever you got to do, because you're probably not looking at a team that is going to make a run to the playoffs. But I give Marshy a lot of crap, but they have been playing outstanding. I don't know. They probably are closer to a playoff team right now than they were a few weeks ago.
Yes. Just
based on their effort and their energy. And if you trade away one of their best players, it's like when the Brewers traded away Josh Hader a couple of years ago. They had what they called the Hader hangover. Like, that's just... And I think they still made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, that year.
Yeah.
But they did have a moment.
The Cardinals surpassed them. I don't know if
they started. Yes, I believe so. But they had a moment where they just were unable to do anything good for a while. Yeah. And so you trade away one of your best players, you trade away your captain. I think it's going to be tough for this team to make the playoffs this year.
And so I'm looking at what the Blues are doing right now. They're starting to get back into the swing of things, and I think they're really playing Jim Montgomery hockey. Like, imagine a full season under Jim Montgomery. Like, what does this team look like next season? Let's just say they miss the playoffs by like a couple points, but they get a full season next year of Jim Montgomery, and then also you're bringing in young players. You have the Dalibor Dvorskys. You have, you have all these other guys that, Jimmy Snuggerud. You have these other guys that could fill in the gaps for your team, and they're bringing a young energy that maybe you're missing, and some goal scoring that you're missing. Like, I just feel like getting rid of the guy who is essentially, the glue to the team, from what we've heard from players, like, that's, to me, just dumb. Like, I just wouldn't do it. Like, the deal has to blow you out of the water, and I don't think teams are comfortable enough doing that, especially if they're trying to go and win the Stanley Cup. You don't want to give away too much, otherwise, you could be, taking a step back.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't make sense for them. So
right.
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I let this season play out. I really would. I think it's more beneficial for this team to be in the playoffs than it isn't.
So they do have some deals for Binnington. One they shot down almost right away. It was Calvin Pickard, Sam O'Reilly, and a 2026 first-round pick for Jordan Binnington. So the Oilers would receive Binnington. The Blues would receive Pickard, Sam O'Reilly, and a 2026 first-round pick. The exec says, I think the Blues could get a lot for Binnington because he won the Cup, and in the way he played in the Four Nations face-off, I think his value is going up. Calvin Pickard is just a body. So really, first-rounder and O'Reilly, is that enough for the Blues? I think they could probably get a better deal. The scout says Edmonton says no because they think O'Reilly is untouchable. I think St. Louis says no because it's Jordan Binnington. Why would they do that unless they're getting the exact player and prospect piece, 2 of them, that they want? They don't need to do it. And if you do it, you're going to look for another goalie. I think what the scout said about Binnington is the key here. And you can apply this to Schenn, too. The Blues don't need to move these guys.
Right.
They don't have to move these guys. It's not like it was a couple of years ago where you had to move Tarasenko. You had to move Ryan O'Reilly. You had to move the players that had expiring contracts. You don't risk not getting what you want, a controllable asset, in return for a player on an expiring deal. If you're not going to re-sign that player, it makes sense to trade. But that's not where the Blues are at right now with Binnington and Schenn. They don't have to do a damn thing. Like Marsh said, they can hold out. If they get blown away, sure. If they don't, they can stand pat, continue to work toward a playoff spot this year, and contend a year from now.
We got a text from the 314. I think we are overvaluing Brayden Schenn. Do you think that is the case? I think just like in general, like some people that like myself, like maybe I'm overvaluing him.
Forget what I think. These are what execs and scouts are saying. So, for example, if you scroll up, if you scroll up as I'm scrolling up, if you're driving, don't scroll up. Don't do anything but drive.
2 hands, 10 and 2.
That's right. There is a mention of the Blues not getting enough in a certain deal. So even a young player for Schenn doesn't make up for the fact that this is your captain. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that is a leader within the locker room. Not saying you have poor leadership, but you don't have a ton of leaders. Schenn is your poster child leader because he's obviously your captain and he is well respected and all that. You have to at least consider the ethos of a player and what he means to the organization. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but for right now, the way Schenn is playing, what he means to your organization, just trading him for a deal, just say, we got something for the future. That's not going to work. So no, I don't think that we are overvaluing Brayden Schenn.
I just think there's just more to a player than what he brings on to the ice.
100%. Yes.
There's more. Now here's the worst thing that could happen is the Blues play really well. We get past the trade deadline, and then all of a sudden they stink again.
Right.
That's the worst thing that could happen.
That's life.
But there's inherent risk in any deadline. Whether you buy, sell, or hold, there is always risk that comes with it. And you can't predict the future. We often think that these GMs should be able to predict the future. They can't. They make the best decision based on the information that they have there. And then they got to live with it and take accountability.
Marsh, I want to get your opinion. There's one on here, Clayton Keller for Jordan Kyrou. What say you?
I mean, I love Clayton Keller. I think he's a fantastic hockey player.
Say it with your chest.
I do like what Jordan Kyrou has done this year.
But Clayton Keller adds depth to a position of need.
Clayton Keller is awesome.
I think I got one.
I'm not going to answer that question.
I think I got one. Marshy. I think I got one.
Marshy.
The scout said no. Utah doesn't do it because they don't need Kyrou. I would say they should get more of a return for Keller. He's a pretty good play. He's played pretty well the past couple of years. I don't think Utah does it. The exec said that all depends on what your flavor is. They're two really good young players. Keller is a captain, but they're both dynamic offensive players. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it could. That's a hockey trade.
Yeah. You could add a little something to it.
Here's one that the Blues would love.
Nah, that's why I didn't answer. That's why I didn't bring that one up.
Brady Tkachuk. Nope, the Blues acquire Brady Tkachuk for Kyrou, Bolduc, and a second-round pick. This is the shortest that the exec and scout wrote. Exec said, not enough for Brady. Scout, nope, no chance. They had another one, Brady Tkachuk for Dalibor Dvorsky, Bolduc, first-round pick, and a second-round pick. The exec, nope, you need a higher-end piece going back to Ottawa. Scout said, that's a little better, but I don't think Ottawa's trading Brady Tkachuk until they get to the playoffs and give it a push, or until Brady comes in and says, I want out. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
So, no, it's not happening.
No. So quit asking. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh has what's trending next.
topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, there's just some franchises in sports that do things the right way, and they get rewarded for it. And I think we're seeing two polar opposites in sports right now for two specific franchises. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, who end up getting the best running back in ever, Bob. Maybe not never, but at least
One of them.
Currently the best running back in the league, Saquon Barkley, right? Then you have the Dallas Mavericks, who trade away a superstar. And things have just gone downhill for them, and they continue to go downhill. So let's start with the Eagles. They win a Super Bowl, and now Saquon Barkley is now the NFL's top-paid running back, and deservedly so. The Mavericks trade away Luka. Anthony Davis is the return, and he's injured. Well, guess what? Guess who else is injured? Kyrie Irving has a torn ACL and is out for the rest of the season. I think we're seeing two completely different things happening for two sports franchises, and I find it very entertaining.
I think for Saquon Barkley, the highest paid running back in NFL history, I think that is absolutely amazing. The Eagles didn't have to do it. They decided to give him an extension or give him more money on his contract based off of what he just did this past season.
Yeah.
That never happens at that position. You are paid for what they think you're going to do, not really for what you have already done. Because they're in their minds, the tread on the tire is going to be bad. He's slowing down. Saquon Barkley deserved every penny that he just got. I am happy, and I think it's going to do something. Hopefully it does something for the running back market. I say this all the time. The league, goes in cycles. It goes. It was a time where Bill Belichick was using two tight ends. Everybody started using two tight ends. Start spreading people out. We need smaller linebackers to be able to match up with these speedy tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. And now you're running downhill. You're getting running backs and saying, you're small, we're big, we're going to run at you, we're going to run for 2,000 yards, and you're not going to be able to stop us. And so you're probably going to see more teams implement those running backs. This is a good draft for running backs this upcoming season. So I'm just happy, man. I'm happy when players work hard and they get the money that they deserve, because most franchises would not pay him, especially number one, he's already under contract. Number two, he just had a hell of a season last year, and they don't think that it'll be duplicated, but they did the right thing by paying him.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head here. I mean, Barkley deserved the contract based on the performance. The Eagles know what he meant to them. If they don't sign Saquon Barkley, they still have a really good roster. I don't know if they win the Super Bowl.
I agree.
They may get there. They may get to the Super Bowl because everything kind of the way that, I think the Lions losing to the Commanders in the divisional round really set things in motion for the Eagles to reach the Super Bowl. But once they got there, they obviously dominated. Right. But Saquon Barkley was the difference maker. Jalen Hurts had a really good year, but he didn't have to have an eye-popping year from a stats standpoint because of what Barkley was doing. Jalen Hurts just needed to control the turnovers, which he did, and stay healthy. And for the most part, save for the couple of games he did miss, he did. So I think that this was a great move by an organization that gets it.
That's awesome. And then on the flip side, the Dallas Mavericks, man, it's going downhill fast. I mean, they are an 18-wheeler without any brakes. Yep. It's going bad.
It's a team that made the finals.
And their best two players, one is no longer on the roster, one is injured for the year.
Yep. And
the player you traded your best player for is played a half, a quarter. Yeah, man.
I'd like to read this from Charles from the Snake Pit. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan or Saquon Barkley. No athlete deserves $50 million to play a game. If we have to stop glorifying athletes and paying them hundreds of millions of dollars. I would just remind you, Charles, that we're not talking about the same world that we live in.
Why do you care what people make?
Movie star, well, you know why.
No, I don't know. Why do you care what somebody else makes? Why does that?
You know why.
Charles,
you know why.
If you could text back, Why does it bother you what a person makes?
You know why.
I don't. I don't give a damn what another man or woman makes. If somebody is going to pay them for that, then let them pay them.
You deserve what somebody is willing to pay you.
Exactly. Why would somebody be bothered about what someone else is making?
Jealousy.
Oh, okay.
And Charles might not admit it, but that's what it stems from.
Yeah.
It stems from jealousy.
Do I think teachers should be paid more? Absolutely. I think they should be one of the top paid professions. Doctors, teachers, nurses, like people that are
military.
The essential workers that had to keep working when the rest of us were, tucked away. Like those people. Yeah, those people should be paid. But I don't think Saquon Barkley shouldn't be paid $20 million a year because you don't like it. That's my opinion.
Well, it's really moot. It's irrelevant. I agree. In a perfect world, the people that are saving lives should make the most money. But we don't live in a perfect world.
Correct.
We live in a world in which celebrities that do movies and athletes that play, in Charles' words, a game, a kid's game, they get paid.
I think if you want to be frustrated about something like that, maybe it's like TikTok stars, like people that are quote unquote influencers that make a bunch of money. In my opinion, I've said this for a while, if you can do a 6-second dance, I don't think you should be making millions of dollars.
But if somebody's going to pay you for it, why not?
I find that stuff to be dumb. I don't think there's a lot of skill involved with stuff like that.
There's some,
but there is skill that is involved in jumping over a 200-pound guy backwards. It is a supply and demand world that we live in. But some professions I think probably deserve more money than others.
I saw a young lady who makes like $50 million on the. I didn't see it, but I saw the article. Saw the article. If you're mad about a 6-second TikTok dancer, I mean, hey. If you got a skill set, man,
I guess, I don't know.
People will pay for whatever.
Yeah, we had another comment from Bishan who said, Daniel Jones got paid a lot once. I wasn't jealous. I was just confused. I'm with you on that one. I don't. Again, to reiterate, I don't think anybody in this room is saying, they should be making more than somebody else. That again is it has an opportunity to save lives. But sorry, where have you been? That's. At some point we have to kind of just say, okay, that's not even a conversation. That it is what it is.
I do think
Michael Jordan got paid by a shoe company.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
And that shoe company made a whole lot of money in return.
So, I don't know what to tell you.
I think if you're going to be mad about athletes making money, maybe be mad about the players that make a lot of money but don't put the effort in.
Be mad at Ben Simmons.
Yes, players like that.
Pissed off at Ben Simmons. But at one point, somebody felt like he deserved it.
Right. Blame the team, too.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it. Make your money, man.
All right. Moving on. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Jamie Rivers off today. He'll be back with us tomorrow at some point. We will talk to Joe Vitale a little bit later on in the show, so our Blues coverage will continue. When push comes to shove, what will the Cardinals prioritize? And I got a couple of different questions related to what the Cardinals could prioritize, and we'll answer them next on 101 ESPN. Hey, when it comes to finding your dream home and making sure you have an opportunity to pay for it and get a loan that's appropriate and at a rate that works for you, call my friend Stewie. Stewie's fantastic. He's local. He has been in this market for a very long time, and he has helped countless of people. So when you give him a call at 314-324-4440, know that you can call him or text him because that's his personal cell phone number. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't know if you should refi right now or whether or not it's a good time to refi. Maybe you got a situation where the credit card debt has just become insurmountable and you want to make sure that you do something about it and be proactive with it. Great. Call Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation because he can help. He's got the bagel loan, which is if you're borrowing $200,000 or more, you qualify, and you're talking about no lender fees, no closing costs. So if you are buying a house, think about that money that you're saving up front that you can maybe throw toward a new kitchen remodel or a basement remodel, whatever you want to do. Stewie can help you save money. He can make sure that, you get out of debt if you're in a bad situation, but you do have to pick up the phone and either call or text him 314-324-4440 or Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. When push comes to shove, what will the Cardinals prioritize? With Carey Davis and Andrew Marshall, Anthony Stalter, there's a variety of different ways we can go with this, but it really got me thinking about the offense, right? Now, Jordan Walker was injured today, so I was thinking about this conversation before Jordan Walker was injured. But when push comes to shove, what will the Cardinals prioritize? Offense or middle of the order, middle of the diamond defense? Because that's a big conversation, right? Like, will New play center field? I think New will be fine in center field. But is he the better defender over Scott or Siani? No. So will they prioritize having their best offensive lineup, do you think, more times than not? Or do you think they'll prioritize having that solid middle-of-the-order defense?
I think the best thing that is happening...
middle of the order. Excuse me, CD. Middle of the diamond.
I think the best thing that's happening for the Cardinals right now is Victor Scott is playing really well. Like, he's hitting the ball really well. We know what he can do defensively, but he's doing a great job at the plate, taking some really good approaches and hitting the ball hard. So, in my opinion, it would be best to prioritize defense up the middle, like especially if Victor Scott is going to continue in the path on the path that he's going right now. Like, I think he's one of the most electric players that they have. He's one of the fastest players that they have. He has an ability to do a lot of things on the diamond. And if you put him in center field, he covers a lot of ground. And you got two guys, Jordan Walker, who we'll see what his injury situation is, but slated as the opening day right fielder, who may not be as fleet of foot or as athletic in terms of getting to baseballs or tracking balls as well as Victor Scott is. And then you got Lars Newbar, who runs in the walls. And then, so if you put Victor Scott there, maybe you lessen some of the damage that he can have on his body. So I think the best thing would be the best of both worlds, but I'm going defense up the middle. And now we're talking behind the pitcher, not in front of him, because we know what the catcher's situation is.
And what's the catcher's situation?
It's outstanding. That guy hits the ball really well, Anthony. Yep.
Defense, catcher still a key defensive
so
position?
Here's the thing, what you need to know about baseball. So when runners get on, Anthony, the pitcher's job is to hold that guy on, right? He needs to look over the night. There's the days of throwing over there 10, 15 times. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
But good timing, throw a good pickoff move, keep them close, quick delivery, shorten up your stride to the plate. Like, things like that help you get the ball to the catcher. Maybe you want to pitch out a time or two. I don't know. Maybe 3. Hell, who cares at this point? Give them an advantage. Figure it out. don't put it all on the catcher, Anthony. The catcher's fine. Don't you worry about what's going on behind the plate.
Okay.
You just worry about when he gets to the plate.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yep.
Don't worry about behind there.
All right.
Put it on the pitchers.
I think they're going to prioritize offense. Like, that's been the whole thing, right? This whole offseason is at-bats. We need to get these guys at-bats. So by saying that, you are essentially prioritizing offense. Now, when it comes to the catcher's position, I feel like they could screw it up in terms of, well, we need to get Ivan Herrera enough at-bats, but, man, it's been a whole week and he hasn't thrown a guy out. Pedro Paja is our starting catcher, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, we've kind of seen this happen before.
We certainly have. So Ryan says this team in the snake pit, he says this team needs offense. Scott does not provide that. Runners in scoring position is what this team needs.
Yeah.
Hey,
Michael Ciani's going to do that?
Ryan, I agree, but in fairness, this is not a very good runners in scoring position offense as it is. So if you prioritize that offense, you better deliver. To Ryan's point, I mean, hitting wins over a full season, I don't think that's really debatable. If a team can compensate for average defense with elite run production over 162 games, but you have to be elite. You have to consistently outscore opponents and to overcome those defensive lapses. Now, when it comes to the postseason, different animal. It's pitching and defense. And poor defense adds to the stress. I don't need to tell baseball fans this, but poor defense is going to add stress to the pitchers. It's going to lead to more runners allowed. Dave Duncan used to preach this all the time. It's not necessarily how many pitches you throw. It's how many pitches you throw in stressful situations. Mm-hmm. If runners are on, those are stressful situations. You can't have common errors made consistently because they will add up. Mm-hmm. So I'm good with having this prioritizing the offense during the regular season, but at some point, you better be able to have guys in the right spots defensively, or you're not going to win. I don't care what team you are. I have yet to see a really bad defense win a World Series. I've seen an average defense win a World Series. I think the Rangers kind of had an average defense a couple of years ago when they won the World Series, but they had elite talent. They had an elite offense. You have to have elite to overcome below average anywhere on your roster.
Well, you remember when the Cardinals took on the Phillies, one of the main things that we brought up was how bad the Phillies defense was heading into that series, and somehow all of their players stepped up. Even Nick Castellanos, like in the World Series, made an unbelievable diving catch in Houston. Mm-hmm. Like, at some point, you got to step up and do your job.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll do that this year. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is that bad. Like, I really don't. But it could be some young mistakes that ultimately lose you a ball game. But that's the whole point of the season. It's Growing Pains, which is a show I never watched.
That's a good show.
Which one was that? Is that Ricky?
Yeah, no. Was that Growing Pains with Alan Thicke's father?
Oh,
Nah, Alan Thicke is the father.
yeah, I was about to say.
What's his son's name? Robin Thicke.
Robin Thicke.
Yeah. Isn't that it? Isn't that Growing Pains?
Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
Dr. Jason Seaver.
Yeah. I was going to say Seaver. The Seavers.
The Seavers. Okay. I Googled growing pains, symptoms and causes. Growing pains usually cause an aching or throbbing feeling in the legs. I don't want those. Yeah, growing pains is, you're right. It's
That's a good show.
It's with Alan Thicke.
Did
Kirk Cameron.
Yeah. What's the
Mike
the
Seaver.
daughter? What's the daughter? Oh no, Kirk is
Kirk
his sister was an actress too. If I'm not mistaken. This is so long ago.
Well, they're all actors.
No, not in his real life sister.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I forget what her name is. Something Cameron.
A couple funny texts. I don't know if the texters are being funny. I think they're being serious here. But the Cardinals are going to prioritize making money this year.
Or saving it. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah, that's probably a fair assumption. Even if they are joking, they're spot on. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Let's get to our sports. Why don't we do a sports six-pack? 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. So if you've got a sports six-pack question for us, send it there. We'll answer them next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. 314-399-9646 is the air covered service text line. If you got a question for us for our Sports Six Pack, that's where you can send it. Fire away, Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, let's go to the 314. Hey, CD, does Saquon Barkley's contract mean teams are leaning or learning the true value at running back, the running back position?
I hope so. I think what Saquon and Derrick Henry were able to do this year, I think you're looking at those two guys and saying, them being free agents and signing and being major pieces to a club, one that won a championship and one that I thought could have been in the World Series, in the Super Bowl with them. I hope, and I think this is a good draft for running backs. The notion that, you can find the draft. I know, Anthony, you still believe that? I don't think you can find. You can find Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round.
Yeah.
You can't find Saquon Barkley in the 7th round.
No.
They're both starters. They're both not equal. That's like, let's see. Who is a starter? It's like Shohei Ohtani and, I don't know, Pickety pitcher in ever. See what I'm saying? Starters.
Sonny Gray.
Okay. But I wouldn't even say Isaiah Pacheco would be Sonny Gray. Isaiah Pacheco would be more Andre Palante. Mm-hmm. No knock. It is what it is. But when you get a guy that is a guy, those are the ones you want.
My point on running backs, because I don't make my points very clear on this.
Oh, okay. You're not anti-running back.
Correct.
See, that's why the gridiron guy. See, if you'd have told me that a while ago, we'd still be doing the gridiron guys.
I'm not anti-running back.
Behind the peek behind the curtain.
What position?
Anthony was anti-running back, and that's why the gridiron guys fell apart.
That's why people. That's where narratives start. That's where rumors start.
Anthony's more of a punt return guy.
Yeah.
Not even that. Yeah. What position does my son Killian play on the?
He's a running back.
Flag football Falcons. He's a
plays
running
hard.
back. He does. He runs hard. I'm not anti-running back. My point has always been, you can build a Super Bowl team without drafting a running back in the top 10.
Oh, I don't think you have to draft him in the top 10.
See, I always view it as like, when I'm building a team or a team is being built, running back is not one of the top priorities. The Eagles were already built.
Correct.
They had both lines. They had, a quarterback that was more than capable. Got them to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. They had the linebackers in place. The second, everything was in place, and they added Saquon Barkley. That's what I'm talking about. The Chiefs, they added Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. Who did they draft in the 1st round? I know he had a lot of, off-field stuff that was not his fault, and, a lot of stuff with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and, he kind of stepped away from football there for a while to deal with it, which I feel real bad for the young man.
Right.
But they took him in the back end of the 1st round, and they wound up getting Pacheco in the 7th. Mm-hmm. Is Pacheco Saquon Barkley? No debate there. But when I'm building a team, can I find a starting running back in the 4th round, the 5th round, the 6th round? Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Not going to be Saquon Barkley, but it's not. That's not necessary to win a Super Bowl. Certainly helps, but that's where I'm coming from.
So you're saying the running back, in order to be drafted high, top 10, it's got to just be a unicorn of a dude.
Okay, but
yeah, pretty much.
Let's dive into that. Did the Giants win a Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley?
No.
But they were the one that invested a top. What was he, second?
Second overall, second pick. I believe so.
I think he was the second overall
or 4th,
pick.
something like
so
that.
they drafted a top 5 running back. Mm-hmm. Did not win a Super Bowl.
No.
If you are investing in a running back in the top 10, out of those teams, are those teams winning a Super Bowl? Like Jamie used to make the claim, like, "Hey, Leonard Fournette won it with the Buccaneers." Yeah, he did, but did he win? Did he win anything?
They went to they had
the Jaguars?
Blake Bortles as their quarterback.
You know what I'm saying, though? Okay,
but,
exactly. So why are you
they
drafting?
went to an AFC Championship game.
So why are you drafting Leonard Fournette then?
Because he's probably the best player available.
All right. Well,
and they did make it to an AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles as their quarterback.
They did.
They damn sure did. And then they lost. It was New England, I believe.
It was New England.
Yeah.
They actually had a lead. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. Seriously.
They didn't win.
They gave everything they had. They got the most out of that team that they could find.
Sure.
And so did the Titans. Was that when they were a really good team.
So did the Titans with Derrick Henry. But if the Ravens won this year, the Ravens didn't make that initial investment. That's my point.
They had guys get injured. J.K. Dobbins was what round was he drafted?
I don't think he was a first-round pick.
No.
Well, are you
might be right.
Are you looking at this from a standpoint of, okay, a team that has a unicorn of a running back, like, oh yeah, there's no point of drafting him because the team's not that good. But like, I'm looking at it from, what is this guy going to be like in year 5, right? Because now you can build your team in 3 to 5 years, and you don't have to worry about having that running back because he's already in the prime of his career and he's an absolute beast.
Let me personalize it. Bijan Robinson is a dude. He's a stud, right? Can we all agree?
Agreed.
They drafted him in the top 10. I think he was 7th overall. So they select him. Are you that good to be drafting a running back in 7th overall? Are you that good along the O-line? Are you that good? You have no pass rush. You haven't had a pass rush in 30 years.
But now
are you that good to pass on Jalen Carter to get Bijan Robinson? That's where I'm at.
Right, but now your team has the opportunity to build said line, and now in the next 2 to 3 years, not only will you have a quarterback coming in who you were high on, but now you have a running back who is an absolute stud in the prime of his career, and now you don't have to worry about that now. Because I feel like it's a little bit easier, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's easier to find players to build an offensive line through free agency and draft than it is to find an absolute dude at the running back position.
I think it all depends. I see where you're coming from, but the Eagles added Saquon Barkley and won a Super Bowl. The Ravens added Derrick Henry and, nearly went to an AFC Championship game. So is it easier? It just really all depends.
That goes back to my statement yesterday, drafting the best player available, regardless of position.
Sure.
Like, if that guy can go, he's a difference maker. Bijan Robinson they probably could have went in a different direction. They didn't take Jalen Carter because of issues that he had, the issue that he had. That's what dropped Jalen Carter. If that doesn't happen, he's drafted way before then. But you take the best player. Bijan is a hell of a player. And when you look at what Atlanta has, I think Atlanta has a lot more than you probably give him credit for. They went out and got Matthew Judon, who looked like he was walking half the time he was playing. Not their fault. I can't blame Atlanta for most things that they've done over the past couple of years. One, Kyle Pitts. That was a terrible draft pick.
Yeah.
That was not good. I was surprised about Drake London.
4th overall.
Kyle Pitts, that wasn't good. But I think they've done, I can't be mad at them about Kirk Cousins, because you didn't know you were going to get Penix. But then you drafted Penix even though you had Kirk Cousins. So you made the right decision. I think you got to give Atlanta a little bit more love.
I think
they're headed in the right, they're trending up, and they're in a soft division.
I love that team.
They'll win the division this year.
They won't win a damn thing ever in my lifetime.
How often do premier running backs become available? I think this year was interesting because I think you had 3 that were available: Saquon, Josh Jacobs, and Derrick Henry.
Sure.
How often Joe Mixon in that?
In Joe Mixon, sure, we'll throw him in there too. Yeah. How often does that happen?
Why is that?
Because teams are dumb.
What do you think the number one reason is why running backs don't hit the open market in their prime?
Because they're not valuing them at the same. They're valuing the quarterback and the wide receiver. Why the Bengals moved on because they need to pay 2 wide receivers instead of their running back.
Why is it that teams are so willing to move on from running backs? Gary thinks they're dumb.
I do too.
I do.
I think they're dumb
think
too.
teams are
We
dumb.
just saw this year why you should value a running back.
Not a running back, because there's running backs available all the time.
The top
You're
running
talking
backs.
about the top running backs, which was to your point, that was a complete aberration. If we go back in years past, why hasn't top running backs hit the open market?
Because
they wear down.
No. Because I don't think that's all the reason why. They don't hit the market, or they do hit the market, but they don't get paid their value. They hit the market, but they don't get paid their value because teams assume that they wear down.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can run, I'm looking at some teams right now. I could ask you who the best player on these teams were, and you would probably tell me a running back. Indianapolis Colts.
Running back.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints.
Defensive end.
Okay, let's do best offensive player then.
All right.
Best offensive player.
Running back.
Alvin Kamara. A team that is as good as the Detroit Lions. Who was their best player?
Who's Detroit's best offensive player?
Yeah.
Like from a skill set position.
Gibbs, Jahmyr
not
Gibbs,
including
outstanding. Amon-Ra St. Brown, outstanding, but probably Gibbs.
Gibbs. Eagles, we know who that is. Offensively.
Mm-hmm. Saquon. Yeah.
Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals.
Offensively?
Yeah. You better not say the little man, because you don't even like him.
James Conner.
Is James Conner... I might even say tight end for the Cardinals.
The guy that didn't score a touchdown pretty much the entire year.
What's his name?
Touchdowns.
What's his name?
Trey McBride.
Trey McBride, yeah. No.
Touchdowns are a product. Touchdowns are a product of the offense as much
touchdowns
as
Atlanta Falcons.
on offense.
Yeah.
I'm praying it's a quarterback.
Who was it last year?
Bijan.
Okay. Carolina Panthers.
Nobody. An offensive lineman, probably.
Chuba Hubbard was their best player, hands
now
down.
you're going to default mode.
No, but this is the best player on their offense. That's the best player on their team, more than likely. But this is the best player on their offense.
You think Chuba Hubbard's the best player on the Panthers?
Yeah, that's why they're
Chuba
bad.
Hubbard last year?
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard was good, but I don't think he was
really good.
I don't think he was the best player on that.
I think he was the
on
best
that
player.
roster.
He's the best player, definitely on that offense.
Okay, sure.
So that was how many? That was a handful. That was 6, 7, 8 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's value, and those other teams have. You want to write it down?
Yeah, hold on here.
Anthony, let me just tell you one thing while you're writing it down.
I'm not gonna do this.
Can you give me those teams again?
Coming up next, so we got the rest of the 6 teams.
Can you give me those teams again, please? I know the Eagles were one.
Eagles,
Panthers, Colts, Falcons, Lions.
Yeah.
Who else, CD?
What about the 49ers? Best offensive player?
Not last year.
Not last year. Okay. All right. Saints. I know what you're doing. Cardinals.
Yeah. All right. So the teams that you gave me, two of them made the playoffs last year. One of them won at least one playoff game.
Don't you worry about
the rest, the Panthers, Colts, Falcons, Saints, Cardinals, not playoff teams.
We're talking about elite running backs here, though.
We're just talking about the best offensive player. Because
elite.
I got the goal. I had the goal line moved on me, Marsh. I had the goal line moved on me when I said a defensive end for the Saints, who would be not Cam Hayward. He plays for the Steelers, but oh my God,
Johnson. No. What is his name?
Oh man,
I see his face.
I see his face
Cam
too. Jordan, thank you.
Jordan Cameron.
Cameron Jordan.
Cameron Jordan. Mm-hmm. It is a Jordan Cameron as well.
Yeah. Cameron
He's
Jordan.
Cam Jordan.
So you said, no, got to go offense. Okay. Yeah. Look, most of these teams didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, because their quarterbacks stink. The hell?
This is what I will say, Anthony.
Yeah.
And this is the last thing I will say. Okay. In 2012, Adrian Peterson, drafted 7th overall by the Vikings in 2012, won the MVP as a running back. Guess who his quarterback was that year?
What year?
2012. They made the playoffs.
2012. His quarterback was...
I'll tell you.
2012. Can you give me the school?
I think it was Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Not Mississippi State. Southern Miss.
Brett Favre?
Nope.
It wasn't Brett Favre?
Brett Favre?
Not in 2012.
Yeah, he was 09. Was it Travarius Jackson?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that's a
That's
good
who I was
name.
thinking of.
The point is, you don't even know who it is. It's Christian Ponder.
Ooh,
That
who was
team
also
made the
drafted in the first
playoffs.
round.
That team made the playoffs. Why? Because of Adrian Peterson.
Hand the ball off. Run the rock, dog.
Why does every running back conversation wind up being me?
Because you don't believe. And you just watched
The narrative. The narrative is like, I don't believe in the running back position.
You should be believing. I told you prior to the Super Bowl what was going to happen. We're going to stop Saquon. Okay, cool.
They did.
They did. Well, what happened? They had to allocate resources to the best player on the field, and then the second and third best players scorched them.
The best players were the defensive line.
Oh, well, that's true, too.
The Chiefs didn't cross midfield.
That's because the offensive line for the
I
Kansas
could have
City
played
Chiefs
quarterback
stink.
that night for the Eagles.
You at least could have called
It
him
was
play.
disrespectful.
You wouldn't have made that throw to Devontae Smith.
Just joking. No, I wouldn't have made a throw. I would have crapped myself over and over again. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We'll continue with our Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. We have our second part of our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hopefully we get more than one question done in part two of the Sports Six-Pack. It's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I have a question.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
All right, let's continue our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's continue that Sports Six-Pack with questions.
Question number 2.
Beat you to it. From the 636, take it or leave it. March Madness is the GOAT of playoff formats.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's anything that beats a tournament one and a tournament that is win or go home.
Why did people complain about the college football playoff and teams that they felt like shouldn't be in, but we got to watch 68 teams in the NCAA basketball tournament?
Why do people complain about that?
Such and such shouldn't be in there. Boise State is taking a spot, or
Maybe because there's more
teams.
A Davidson could upset one of the big dogs.
He did when Steph Curry was on the team.
Man, one of the greatest players.
So I think
of all time.
some of the smaller schools that get in have a better chance to pull off the upset,
like Dunk City
compared
Florida
to
Gulf Coast.
college foot. Yeah, and compared to college football, where I mean, there's a wide gap between the smaller schools and the bigger schools.
I actually have a gripe with a lot of the playoff formats in professional sports and in college. Like, I think the college football playoff could be better. I don't like the 68 teams in March Madness. I prefer the 64. I don't care about the play-in games.
And they count those as actual.
Yeah, like I don't care about that. I think the NHL playoffs are great. However, I wish they'd go back to the 1 through 8 rather than the division playoff format that they have now. And sometimes it ends up being 1 through 8. Just depends on the year. But I'm kind of over that. The NBA, I hate the play-in tournament. I think it's stupid. Some of the teams that get in they have a record under 500. It feels like sometimes.
Well, so do the teams in the NFC South. No one complains about that.
I think everybody does.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they're stupid.
The NFL playoffs, I do like the NFL playoffs. I actually like that they added the 7th team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
You don't?
Hell no.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think
more football.
Like the second place team in the conference got the bye.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should just be the first.
No. We were the second place team the year we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, of course you're going to be biased.
So, Splashback Dew says 99.999% of people that end up bitching about the tournament is because the brackets got broken. I was going to say, and Splashback Dew, I think, is completely right. It winds up being personal to them. So, CD just kind of proved that.
Oh. Yep.
When you said we got in, we were the second seed, we got in, we won the Super Bowl. So, I think a lot of... if you don't like something, not you, but you in general, I feel like it's because it impacted you in some way.
I think it's hard. Football is hard, man. That's why you only play once a week, and then sometimes you play 3 times. Just whatever, 3 times in 10 days because they're idiots. But either way. Sorry.
Or if you're Bishop Sycamore, you're playing like every night.
Well, I need to watch that documentary.
I know, I do too. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
It's pretty good.
I don't want to, but I feel like I need to.
That guy is...
He's sick, isn't he?
Such a sick individual. So selfish.
Yeah.
That goes back to my other theory that sometimes people should be slapped like one good slap. Like I live by this
Maybe a
mantra.
punch.
No, see, open hand slap is just as effective.
What are the 5 things to say to the face?
Slap. Yeah. Back to what I was saying about the playoffs for the NFL. The second seed, like, you know how hard it is to play an entire season and not get a week off? Like, to get 1 week off, but to be that good, that close, and still, I just feel like it's a disservice for one more unworthy team to be a 7th seed that's not going to make a playoff run. They're probably going to lose in the first round.
But
How about being a 14-win team and you're a wild card team on the road in round 1?
Right.
Oh, well, that's unfair.
But they lost, and
They did.
And they didn't deserve. Yeah, they didn't deserve to
you all
win
should have
that
had a
game.
bye.
Clearly not, though. I feel like
they
this is
deserve
exact.
it.
You get a bye.
You get weeded out.
You get to reset.
You would have had a bye if you didn't crap your pants in the final game of the season.
CD, you were big on this, and
If
this
you
is one
have
of the things I
two
love
people,
about you.
2 teams. Yeah, what the hell? The 7th seed is not going to win a Super Bowl. We watched. Who was the
6th
7th
seed did.
Yeah, that was the Steelers again.
The Packers, too.
Giants did.
Yeah.
And Giants did, too.
Okay, but the 7th seed won.
Did they? No, the Giants weren't a 6th seed.
Yeah, they did when they beat the Patriots.
They were a 4th seed, I thought. They won the
They on the
division.
road.
You know what? Let me back up my opinion with facts here. Give me a second.
Please do,
And
because
stats, preferably.
I'm pretty sure that the Giants were the 4th seed the year that they won
If you can give me a
one
stat.
of those Super Bowls. The 2012, what was it? 06 and then 11 or 12. They were the 4th.
Anthony,
I thought
they were the
07.
5th seed when they beat the
seed.
Patriots and the. Oh wait, no, this was the 2012 one, I believe. Oh no, it wasn't. No, this was 2008. So maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe they're the 5th seed. I was thinking maybe they were the 6th.
I think there's only one team that has gone on the road and won the Super Bowl. That would be the 6th seed Steelers.
Didn't the Packers also
think they
in
were
2010 do it? I think they did.
I don't think they were a 6th seed. Didn't they play at home?
I think they were. No.
They didn't play the Giants at home that year? It was freezing one of those games.
I don't think they did. No.
You're going to make me look it up.
So 4 teams, I believe, have done it.
4 teams have done it.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
See?
Man, I'm terrible at this.
The Packers were 10-6. They were where the hell was it at?
They did. The Packers were a 6th seed.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the Steelers also were in 2005.
Oh, maybe it was on the road to in Chicago. It was cold. I knew it was cold somewhere.
It was the Jay Cutler year. When Jay Cutler got hurt.
Jay Cutler.
And he was on he tore his knee, and then they were criticizing him for coming out of a playoff game, but he tore his knee.
Because how he looked on the sideline.
Yes.
Because his face didn't look like he was in pain. He didn't look angry.
They didn't like his face. So
I don't like your face, so you must have quit on your team.
Exactly.
Nah, I can't walk.
Right.
Sorry
about it. Yeah. Anyways, all right. I think we answered 2. That might have been the fewest that we've ever answered.
We got a text in the snake pit from Jay Killa. Let's go. 6-pack. Come on.
All right, go. 3.
Question number 3.
Let's not disappoint the people.
This one's a long one, too, that Jay Killa has for us.
Okay.
Once again, why was Mike Schilt fired? Does anyone actually know?
Yes.
He has more success with Ollie with less. Funny that this leads me to the point that the DeWitts and Mo are greedy, lazy, cheap, and complacent from winning frequently.
Let's go, Jay Killer. Let's go. God, let's go.
Baseball.
Damn, the question is long.
Has passed them by, and it's very clear. I guess I would be too when I bought a team for $1 million and is now worth billions. What a complete shame.
They'd be worth even more if,
if they didn't fire Mike Schilt, they'd be winning baseball games.
No, he was, yes. We do have it on good authority of why he was fired. No, we're not going to get into it because it involves other people. Mike Schilt didn't necessarily do anything like wrong or illegal or anything like that. The only thing I'll say is I'll put it this way. From what I've been told from multiple sources, that not a lot of people within that, I don't want to say nobody, not a lot of people within that organization were upset when he got fired. That's all. That's all I'll say. So I don't think they just hate losing, or they enjoy losing, and that's why they let him go. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is LeBron being unfairly criticized? Sneak peek for you. No. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and if I'm reaching out to you on all things appearance. If you have any car issues, any car needs, it's wet outside, make sure you're staying safe. But if not, if you have any issues, you can reach out to my good friends over at All Things Appearance. They do standard maintenance, detailing, ceramic coating, paint, dent repair, collision repair. Their owner, Jeff, will work with you and your insurance company and your warranty company to make sure you're getting the best price possible. All you need to do is call them at 636-248-5051 or reach out to him online at allthingsappearance.com. Jeff, you can call him at any time on that number. That is his personal cell phone number. He will answer. You can call him after work today. You can call him later on tonight when you get settled in, after the kids get tucked in. You can give him a call on the weekends. He will answer or he will respond as promptly as possible and get you in and get you out as quickly as possible because he wants his customers to get the best price and get their work done and be safe on the road at all times. So again, reach out to Jeff. No one offers more services or does more for their customers than the team at All Things Appearance. Call or text Jeff at any time, 636-248-5051. He's always available, and he will always respond.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. LeBron James, and Marsh, you might be better to kind of explain what has gone on the last 2 weeks or so with LeBron James. But LeBron has come under fire for, making comments about how the media is often portraying him in a certain way that he's never asked for. And, this is something that has kind of followed him his entire career. Here's his post-game last week on being asked about being the face of the league, which kind of sparked all this.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. Why do you want to be the face of the league when all the people that that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis on everybody? I mean, that responsibility. It's just weird. It's weird energy from the people that I don't know, but. Channing, he said it. He said it perfectly. Couldn't have said it no better. But Ant said he don't want it. Obviously I didn't ask for it, but I knew there was a responsibility for me, not only to my family, my friends, my community, and whoever that was going to follow my journey throughout my career. Not only in Ohio when I started there, but all over America and all over the world when I traveled all over the world. So I've always taken that seriously and understood from the beginning what being a professional was all about and being a role model was all about. So,
Carey,
I didn't ask for it.
Listen, man.
How full of crap is LeBron?
To whom much is given, much is required. And the thing that I think bothers me most when he does things like this, because he does it often, he does this kind of woe is me, oh, poor me. Like, right. LeBron James is arguably, it depends on who you ask. Some people think he's the greatest player to play. Some people think he's the second or third greatest. It's your opinion. He's not the only person that has had to deal with this. Mm-hmm. They said Shaq wasn't going to ever win a championship. He wasn't good enough. They called Magic Johnson Tragic Johnson. Like, Tragic Johnson. He's a 4-time MVP. Like, he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game, one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Like, there are, throughout the history of that game, they said Michael Jordan, he's not good enough to get it done. He's too soft. Charles Barkley, you never won a championship. You're terrible. He's one of the 75 greatest players ever to play the game. Mm. You're not alone in, and remind me, what's his nickname?
King
James. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Mm. That's the name that was given to you. It was bestowed upon you. Maybe you called yourself that. I don't know. Who knows, right? But this is what it is. You never stopped it. You never said, nah, don't call me king.
Yeah.
You put the crown on your head in the games. I watched you. Yeah, put a fake crown on your head when you do something great. So I don't know it's almost like, and I never thought I would get to this point in my life, but I'm here so much. This generation, these kids these days, I never thought I would be that old guy, but I clearly am. But I sit here, and I can say this because I've seen it when I coach kids. They only want to be praised. Mm-hmm. And LeBron he's 40, but he's still of the generation of this. Praise me. Don't ever speak poorly about me. Oh, why would you ever, give me constructive criticism about something that I did poorly? Why aren't you praising me and patting me on the back? Because You didn't do good, man. I'm not going to kiss your ass just to make you feel good. Let me tell you the truth. This is why. And so whenever you say something about these younger players, and he's not a younger player, but he's in that generation, their feelings get hurt. Oh, you're not praising me anymore? I just said one bad thing, brother. You've been doing great. Get back on defense. Oh God, no. Right. Like I can give you constructive criticism. I can speak on the things that I see that you aren't doing well. If that's what it is, it's not taking a shot at you. It's not. Why wouldn't you want to be the face of the league?
Right.
Go to your bank account. I'll show you why you want to be. I guarantee you, he don't wake up when his check come in. He don't say, "Damn, I hate being the face of this league." He's like, "Ooh, it feel good to be the king."
Yeah,
that's his response.
Right.
So with that comes responsibilities, and it comes part of the narrative or the speaking where people pick at some things that you do that they don't like, and everybody isn't going to like you. So what?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is the same way. He's very
sensitive
about how people respond to him.
Well, you're absolutely right. I completely agree. Bear said LeBron is such a fragile ego, LOL. That's what the key word there is ego. Your ego will play tricks on you. The ego plays tricks on all of us, right? Like you get to the point where your ego needs to constantly be praised, needs the pat on the back. And the worse you are telling yourself that, the more you start to seek out. And I feel like that is the case with LeBron James. It doesn't matter how much he's accomplished. We get to the point where it's like the media just crushes us. All the media. That's not true. It's not. Oh, they just blank on us. No, they don't like the way that you currently, the way the league is, only fire shots from half court. The game has become boring. That's what they're saying. It is a constructive criticism. And your TV ratings reflect that, man. Mm-hmm. So let's put on the big boy pants. Let's understand where the criticism is coming from. And if you choose not to react to it, that's fine. But to say like the media all blanks on us, why would you want to be the face when you're clearly they've wanted to be the face forever? Sorry, got nothing for you.
Dude, you came into the league with number 23.
Right, exactly.
You came into the league with number 23. Carey mentioned the whole crown thing. Yeah. LeBron is a great player. Like, he full stop, great player. But, like, I think a lot of the problems right now with the NBA fall on him. Mm-hmm. Super teams. NBA All-Star Game sucks. NBA Dunk Contest, non-existent anymore. Like, there's just so many different things. There's so many moving parts in the NBA now. Players really, I don't know, not giving a crap. Because, dude, sometimes you don't give a crap.
Right.
And it like, maybe you don't say you don't, but, like, there's actions, like, that could indicate otherwise. Like, let me just go to the All-Star Game and tell people, a couple minutes beforehand I'm not playing.
Right.
Like, stuff like that. Like, what are you doing? You're enabling some of these players.
AB did say Anthony Edwards said he didn't want to be the face. Yeah, we got that. LeBron said, you can hear him say Anthony said, he doesn't want it. But at one point I did think, and maybe I'm wrong, there was a flip to him.
Yeah, he said
basically
I didn't want it either.
Suggesting it, that he didn't want it either. Why would anybody want to be the face? I
just told you why.
Exactly.
There you go. Check your bank account.
All right. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. We get the Gauntlet next.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 406. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Brayden again, otherwise known as Chester from the Snake Pit. Chester's back for round 2. What's up, Chester?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. You're locked in today, Brayden.
Oh. I am locked in. I unfortunately wanted Jamie today. I'm solo again. I'll have my wingman tomorrow, but I know who he would pick, and that would be heating and cooling Marsh.
Whoa!
But I'm not picking him. But I'm going for fast-laning Anthony for what you said to me last week.
Because I told you to go Fastlane yourself?
Yeah.
In my defense, you deserved it, but 2, I did apologize.
You were the one discussing how you and Marsh were feeding each other. I just had a well-timed joke.
All right, Brayden. Me, I'm up?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
All right, there you go. All right, good luck to you, man.
Thanks.
All right, Anthony is heading out to the cone of silence. I don't know if it's silent in there today. He'll tell us when he comes back. All right, Brendan, tell Marshy spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
All right, so you know how this goes. If you answer the questions correctly without the options, you get 2 points. If you answer it correctly with the option, you get 1 point. And if you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. Now, yesterday, you didn't want hockey. What don't you want today?
I don't want hockey.
Okay, well, you didn't get hockey. Marshy, what do you got?
We have baseball today.
Oh, baseball.
I'm down.
All right.
Okay.
Marshy is getting the questions for me. And, all right. Are you ready?
I am.
In 2024, who led Major League Baseball in innings caught?
Boy. Options.
Is it Cal Raleigh, William Contreras, or Adley Rutschman?
Rutschman, final answer.
Question number 2. In the 1986 postseason, Dennis Oil Can Boyd pitched a complete game to clinch the pennant for which of the American League's most storied franchises?
You guys realize where I'm from, right? Boston, final answer. Red Sox.
All right, question number 2. I'm sorry, question number 3. Whose 23 pinch hit homers represent a Major League record?
Oh, I know this, but I can't. Options.
Is it Matt Stairs, Mark Reynolds, or Lenny Harris?
Reynolds, final answer.
Question number 4. The only active manager besides Bruce Bochy to win 4 pennants is...
So that's divisional titles, right?
That is the, you got to win the championship series.
Dave Roberts, final answer.
All right, we'll get Anthony in here. You calling him in?
I'm waving at him.
Does he see you? Is he coming in? All right. How do you feel, Brendan?
I feel good.
You feel good?
I feel good.
All right.
Yeah.
Anthony is walking in. How you feel?
Good. I just talked to one of our sales guys, Tony, and
Tony, yeah.
Just having a chat.
Two Tonys having a conversation?
Absolutely,
in the hallway?
Yes. Yeah.
Found out you want to go by Ant now.
Ant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I just said that somebody, LeBron James, was calling
We'll call
Anthony
you Ant.
Davis Ant.
Is Ant cool?
Yeah.
Ant better than Tony?
Yeah.
Antonio?
Sure, you could go that route.
All right.
Antonio Banderas.
Antonio.
All right, Marshy, tell them what we got.
Pack a lunch. It is baseball.
All right, let's do it.
All right, question number 1. In 2024, who led Major League Baseball in innings caught?
Ooh, in innings caught. Who caught a lot of innings in baseball? Because you got the DH. Like, a lot of teams will use the DH for their catcher to spell them. Like, Will Smith probably caught a ton of games, but I think he was the DH a little bit. Cal Raleigh in Seattle caught a lot of games. This is going to be tough. All right, I'll take the options.
Is it Cal Raleigh,
Ooh.
William Contreras, or Adley Rutschman?
Wow, all three caught a ton of games last year. I did say Cal Raleigh, and I think he's kind of an outlier in that, so I'm going to say Cal Raleigh. Final answer.
Question number 2. In the 1986 postseason, Dennis Oil Can Boyd pitched a complete game to clinch the pennant for which of the American League's most storied franchises?
Boston Red Sox. Final answer.
Question number 3. Whose 23 pinch hit homers represent a Major League record?
Pinch hit home runs. I got some names, but I'll narrow it down. Can I have the options, please?
Is it Matt Stairs, Mark Reynolds, or Lenny Harris?
I don't think it's Mark Reynolds. I was thinking about Matt Stairs, and I was thinking about Lenny Harris. And I think it's Matt Stairs who played a ton. He bounced around a lot. He was kind of used as like the pinch hit slugger. Matt Stairs. Final answer.
Question number 4. The only active manager besides Bruce Bochy to win 4 pennants is?
4 pennants? Active man, it's got to be Dave Roberts. But let me think here. Yeah, because I don't think Brian Snitker doesn't have 4. The Rangers have had Bochy. Dusty Baker's no longer in the league. It's not Aaron Boone. It's got to be Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts. Final answer.
Maybe should have went with the options on that.
Let's start there. The only active manager besides Bruce Bochy to win 4 pennants is... Do you want to know who the options were?
Yes.
Ron Washington, Dave Roberts, Terry Francona.
Terry has... I don't think he has 4. I think he has 3. I feel good about Roberts.
Brendan said Dave Roberts without the options. Anthony said Dave Roberts without the options. The correct answer is...
Yeah, it's Dave Roberts.
You got it right. Don't worry about it. 2-2 tie.
You did the old Stalter there.
Let's go to the next question. In the 1986 postseason, Dennis Oil Can Boyd pitched a complete game to clinch the pennant for which of the American League's most storied franchises? Brendan, you said Boston. Anthony, you said Boston. The correct answer is...
It is the Boston Red Sox.
But neither of you needed the options.
Wow.
4-4 tie.
This is a gauntlet if I ever saw one.
Let's go to question number 3. Whose 23 pinch hit homers represents a Major League record? Brendan, you said Mark Reynolds. Anthony, you said Matt Stairs. You both needed the options. The correct answer is...
It is Matt Stairs.
Anthony, ahead by 1 going into this final question. In 2024... who led Major League Baseball in innings caught? You both took the options. Brendan, you said Adley Rutschman. Anthony, you said Cal Raleigh because that's the outlier. That doesn't even sound like it belongs. If it's Adley Rutschman, we got a walk-off. If it's Cal Raleigh or William Contreras, Anthony wins. Brendan.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. It is Cal Raleigh. Anthony beats you today 6-4.
Oh,
it's a great job.
Heck of a contest.
Yeah.
Is there a bigger smile in CDs right now?
No, actually, you're not. It's not. I'm smiling ear to ear. I'm glad you know that about me. I was not rooting for you. You sound like a great guy. But I wasn't rooting for you, man. You beat the hell out of me yesterday.
Yesterday was like two guys shooting blanks in the dark.
This is true. Yeah.
I don't have to watch the Stadium Classic every year. Thank you very much.
Hey, Brendan, you're a lot of fun, man. You get the show, that's for sure, and we appreciate you, chiming in the snake pit and stuff, man. We appreciate you. Thank you.
I hope you guys have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.
Chester,
yeah.
I'm glad he knew that about
program.
me.
Yeah. CD was
like, is there anybody
ticks.
happier? Nope.
Yeah.
Revenge. Yeah. Even if it ain't from me.
You wanted that.
I did.
I think you wanted it more than I did.
That was a good gauntlet, though. That was a good, good contest.
Yeah. That was, he knew his stuff there, that's for sure. Especially with Roberts and even the oil can Boyd one. I mean, that's.
It was from Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Boston?
Yeah, he said, I'm from Boston. I know this one. So I was thinking, I'm like, I think it's Boston. When you said the question, historic AL team, I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that wasn't in there.
That's the year that they lost to the Mets.
Oh, that's true, too. Yeah. I just remember him being on the Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he played. He may have bounced around too. Anyways, all right. That's the gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Let's jump back into the Cardinals. A lot is made about like the vision. What's the vision of the Cardinals this season? Well, Katie Wu attempted to answer that question as part of her mailbag for The Athletic. So we'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
What's the Cardinals' vision for 2025? Katie Wu attempt to answer that question as part of her mailbag, her latest mailbag for The Athletic. This is what she said. What is the Cardinals' 2025 strategy, you ask? It's to win as many games as possible while extending as much opportunity as possible to as many young players as possible. Yeah, say that 3 times fast. That's what she wrote. I agree. I think that's kind of what the Cardinals' vision is. They are trying to still win as many games as possible. They are trying to extend opportunity where possible to young players. I think that fits. The question is, do you think that they can accomplish both things? Are the two things mutually exclusive? Can you play young players, give them an extended opportunity, and have those guys surprise?
You're usually going to fall short in one of those categories. Either you're not going to be able to give that playing time, or you're not going to win as many games as possible. Mm-hmm. It comes with the territory of playing younger players. There's going to be a learning curve. There are mistakes. There are bumps and bruises. You generally want to have veterans, like when you're in a playoff push or that playoff window or that championship window, you have a veteran-led team and you add youthful players, younger players. The Philadelphia Eagles are a prime example. Veteran team. They got a couple of rookies at corner that made some big plays, right? So that's how you become a championship team. When you are a young team that is, playing guys for the first time in extended amount of time than they've played in the past, it's going to be bumps and bruises. It's going to be mistakes. You're going to have some nights where you're like, oh my God, this is hard to watch. Mm-hmm. But it's all growing pains, not the growing pains you looked up earlier. And not the TV show.
Looking for the show?
Yeah.
Got the full medical.
So there are things that you go through as you're maturing as a player and as a team that has youthful players. So I don't think you're capable of doing both, but I think one will lead to wins in the future.
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know what the right word is for it, but I feel like it's a bit, the Cardinals, not opportunistic. I don't know what the word is I'm trying to look for.
Optimistic?
But no. Anyways, I feel as like the Cardinals are viewing this as, hey, we can do both. Why can't we do both? Why? What if we just, hey, we're keeping Nolan Arenado, we're keeping Sonny Gray, we're keeping Wilson Contreras. These guys helped us win 83 games last year. Who's to say that Jordan Walker can't have a big year, provided he's healthy? Mason Wynn can't continue to develop. Who's to say that this won't all come together for us? And on top of that, those young players will get those opportunities. Idealistic, maybe? I think maybe idealistic is the word I'm looking for.
That is, that's the goal.
Hey, this is great. We could do it all. I'm more aligned with you that you have to just focus on accomplishing one thing. Right. It's kind of like going to the gym and I want to lose weight and build muscle. Can you do it? Yeah. You have to choose one or the other.
Take some time.
Or get some help.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So usually you have to pick one lane because it's difficult to accomplish both at the same time. So when Katie writes, what is Cardinals' strategy? Win as many games, extending as much opportunity as possible to as many young players. One of those things is going to fall through. And this kind of goes back to our previous segment on the Cardinals. When push comes to shove, what will the Cardinals prioritize? So if they're trying to win games, what will they prioritize? Sticking with veterans or allowing that runway to young players? Because that runway will come with not only successes, but failures as well.
Yes.
And will they remain patient when a player is struggling for them to just say, hey, you're going to go through it. Mm-hmm. We're going to be here. We're going to help you, but you're going to struggle because there is something on the other end here, which is called success, but we got to stick with you. Will they prioritize that? I don't know.
Well, we haven't seen that in the past. That's The 618 says the word you're looking for is delusional.
That's true, too. Very true.
Yeah, we haven't seen that in the past. But I think, again, if your goal, you have to be realistic in what your goal is for this season. And I think you should have been realistic last year. You went out and signed a couple of veteran pitchers hoping that would get you over the hump. But when we talked about it, we knew what those pitchers were, who they were, and what they provided. It was not, they weren't 1s, 2s. They were 3s, 4s, and possibly a 5. Mm-hmm. And on this staff, they were 3s and 4s. So you went through that. I think you have to be reasonable and rational in what the expectations are if you're this organization, and not be frustrated and not feel like, oh, shoot, we're not winning games and people aren't going to show up and, oh, they're going to be mad, or we're losing money and we got to do something drastic. We got to do. No. Yeah. Just play. Just allow yourself to suffer through it and be better on the back end. Yeah. In the long run, this team, this organization should be much better based on what they should do this entire season. Let young players play. Let them make mistakes. Let them lose some games, win some games, find ways to win games. Like, learning how to win is a habit that can be created. Mm-hmm. Like, you learn how to win games. You learn what needs to be done in certain moments, and that brings teams, especially younger teams, together. Yeah. When they're learning from their mistakes. Oh, crap, last time we were in this situation, remember this happened. Let's not have that same mistake. Yeah, you have that Let's experience. Make sure we do this better this time. Yeah. And that's how you get better.
I couldn't agree more, CD. It's like the teams. There's this almost this philosophy that people have when it comes to. I hear this a lot more in the NBA than any other sport, but you have to get bounced. Yeah. You have to get to the first round and get bounced. You have to get to the second round and get bounced. You have to not that you have to lose every round before you eventually win it, but there is the pain that goes into this for a team to understand. Here's what we're missing, and for the players to understand what it's ultimately going to take. Even the most talented teams will suffer those early round exits and claim that they're better off for it because that they knew what it took to get to that next level and beyond. I think when it comes to the Cardinals, there needs to be some real true pain here, as opposed to what they did a year ago and what they have been doing for the last couple of years, which is just that Band-Aid approach.
We got a text here from the 636. Guys, I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible because I love the show. But let's see how the season plays out with the young players. Hypotheticals get us nowhere because it's just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of what-ifs that probably won't even happen. In fairness. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
sorry.
You go ahead. Yeah.
In fairness, I don't know if we'd have a show if we did no hypotheticals.
I was going to say...
If we were only reacting, especially right now in spring training, but I do appreciate the text.
I was going to say, in fairness, I don't think we're wrong.
You're right, the season hasn't played out, but in fairness, I don't think we're wrong.
I don't think we're wrong.
Yeah. And I do, and let me really focus on it. Like, I appreciate when somebody says, hey, listen, let's let it play out. The hypotheticals are kind of a waste of time. I don't disagree. I just don't know if we'd have enough to do a 4-hour show if we didn't do any hypotheticals.
Let's be honest. If the Cardinals made it to the NLCS, would anybody? How shocked would everyone in here be?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah.
25.
Okay. And I'm sure this texter from the 636, if they're being honest, would say the same.
Sure.
If they made it to the NLCS with an opportunity to make it to the World Series, this current roster as it's constructed, everyone listening to our voices would be shocked, falling out of their chairs. Mm-hmm. It would be this would be the year that they would always talk about 10 years from now.
Right.
Remember
nobody
believed. Nah, I knew it though. I believed. No, you didn't.
Those cocky, what's at 101 ESPN didn't believe.
So it's not like we're being. It would be shocking if that were to happen. Why? Because it usually does not happen.
Yeah.
This team is young. They have things to learn from. They got some bumps they got to go over. They got to feel some pain and they got to grow from it.
No doubt. All right, we're one day into Bet the Board. How'd you do, CD?
I lost.
Okay. Well, CD's going to bounce back as we have Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Big news out of spring training. Jordan Walker left the game in West Palm Beach with pain in his left knee. Per Cardinals, Derek Gould reported earlier today he will be reevaluated once the team returns to Jupiter to determine cause and severity. He left after one at-bat and then catching a fly ball in right field in the second inning. We talked about that earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation or any conversation from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Speaking of interviews, we'll talk with Joe Vitale here in about 10 to 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. The Blues back in action tomorrow night as they take on the LA Kings. Pregame starts at 8:30, puck drop at 9:30. We are going to bet the board next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. After yesterday, I think, Marsh, you and I have a point.
That is correct.
Carey and Jamie do not. Nice job, Drake, my teammate, who threw out, hey, I'd like UCLA. And I said, you know what? We're not going to go against the grain here. Let's take UCLA. They won by 4.
Just enough, huh?
They laid 3.5. They won by 4. All right, Marsh, go ahead.
You want me to go first?
Yes, darn right.
All right. Give me Donovan Mitchell. Let's see here. What number can I get on this alternate line? Oh, no. Donovan Mitchell, 37-plus points, rebounds, assists as the Cleveland Cavaliers take on the Chicago Bulls tonight.
What's going on here? What are we doing? Are we doing basketball now?
What?
We went basketball last night.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why.
It worked out pretty well for him.
I mean, he
very well.
had like
50.
everything by himself. He didn't need anything else. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. It's weird.
Well, I think Marsh appreciates all sports. Basketball, hockey, surfing. You know?
Okay.
He covers it all. Yeah. All right, I'll take Auburn -4 tonight. They're at Texas A&M. A&M has struggled recently. They're 0 for 4, both straight up and against the number. Offense for the Aggies has been inconsistent, particularly in the shooting efficiency category. They ranked 280th nationally in two-point percentage and 327th in three-point percentage. Defensively, they got their strengths, but they're going to have their challenges against this high-caliber offense of Auburn. So give me Auburn -4.
All right, I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors +5. They've been playing really well since the trade to get Jimmy Butler. Lost 2 games. One of those, Jimmy didn't play. I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors +5.
So who's not playing tonight then?
I don't know. That's what I was worried about. I don't know if Steph's not playing, but they're playing the Knicks. And the Knicks
have been very good.
They have been.
Back-to-back.
It is, and it's a back-to-back. They played last night.
Something doesn't add up here.
In Charlotte. So they play tonight in New York. So it's a bit concerning because I don't know. Hope old Wardell is playing. Nobody else. Wardell Curry.
Oh, we know Jamie likes the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yes.
And Jamie texted us saying that he likes the Flyers -142 on the money line against the Calgary Flames.
Interesting.
Was that the Flyers? I thought that was the Philadelphia 76ers he liked.
No.
No?
He likes the
He likes the Jazz.
He likes the Jazz.
The Magic.
Yeah.
The Wizards.
I thought he liked the Sixers.
He may have picked the Sixers.
+14.
Does he like them? Maybe I looked at that text message wrong.
Yeah, Flyers are good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Flyers are good.
Okay.
I don't like when Jamie picks those double-digit underdogs. They wind up winning outright. Gator, good pick, Ant. Thank you, Gator. Splashback Deuce, wonder what you'd bet on in surfing. Hanging over or under 10. That's a good one.
Do you guys know how to surf?
No, sir.
Never have.
No, sir.
You like the ocean?
Yeah, it's fine.
I'd rather be in a pool.
I would too, actually.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Like the beach is fine.
We know how you are in pools.
Yeah. I mean, the
I
beach
run my
is
faces
fine.
into them.
The
Typically.
ocean is not as fine.
No.
It's a lot.
I've always
It's a
been
lot.
asked this question. Would you prefer to be on a lake or on the ocean? I'm more of a lake guy.
Yeah, I think so too. If given those two options, I would say lake.
Are we in the water you're talking about?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, give me the lake. The ocean's just too much, man.
Too
Unless
unpredictable,
I'm on
huh?
a big fast lane boat. Yeah, and I'm good.
What scares you more, the ocean or space?
Deep blues.
There's some stuff out there. Well, I mean, both cases, right? Both cases. There's some stuff out there we just don't know.
The ocean.
I mean, you'd have to go real deep, though, for the ocean.
You would. But I don't know, man. There's stuff out there.
I feel like so much can go wrong.
I like the water, though. I do. I enjoy.
space.
I love swimming. Yeah, I don't.
So much can go wrong in space.
How am I getting back?
How am I getting back? Am I getting back? Am I going to run out of food?
Yeah.
Will my helmet fly off when I'm observing stuff? I don't know.
Too many questions.
Too many questions.
Not
So
enough
I have to
answers.
go, drill on an asteroid
Right,
that's
man.
heading towards Earth.
Right. What are we talking about?
Are
you
we
know?
going to bring astronauts up there to drill, or are we going to bring drillers up there to be astronauts?
Right.
Both.
Yeah.
Either way.
We'll give you one astronaut. The rest of you, drillers.
Either way, we got no time, Anthony.
No. And somebody's going to have to sacrifice. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is.
And stay behind.
Yeah. That's exactly right. All right. Joe Vitale is going to join us next. We'll talk to him about the recent play of our Blues here on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to our Collier and Thompson phone line. We're joined by our guy Joe Vitale of the Blues Radio Network here on 101 ESPN. Joe, how you doing?
Hey, Stahl, doing good, buddy. How are you today?
We're doing great. But, before we dive into the Blues, Carey said this is a perfect question for Joe. We were just asked whether we would prefer the ocean, like the deep ocean, over space in terms of, like, what scares you more?
Oh, the ocean. I mean, forget, who cares if there's no oxygen in space? I would take space every time. I have a massive fear of the ocean. My wife's like a mermaid. She'll go a mile out, no problem at all. My kids are fearless when it comes to the ocean. I won't go in past my shins. And you think I'm kidding, but when I go snorkeling, my chest is actually raking on the bottom. So,
it's the fear of not seeing something?
It's just not seeing it. If I don't know what's 10 feet in front of my eyesight, get out of your space. You can see millions of miles. So if an asteroid or an alien's coming at me, hey, you know what? At least I have a moment to say my goodbyes.
Fair enough.
I appreciate it. Joey, we were talking earlier about there's been rumors, obviously, of Brayden Schenn being traded, and now that the Blues are playing so well, do you think that that's still a topic of discussion, or do we think we need to move past that conversation?
Yeah, he's not getting traded. I mean, there's no way. He's playing too well. He's been the leader of this team, and the team has been trending in such a great direction ever since, I would say, definitely that 2-week break. But even before the Four Nations break, I think this group has started to really piece things together. And you know what? The captain's been the catalyst for it. He really has been. It's been tough on him, too, because it wasn't as easy as a transition to going from, an alternate captain to a captain last season. He was really kind of, in my mind, throwing the deep end. When he was an assistant captain, he had a lot of veteran players around him. But, you end up losing, Petro way back. And then it was Perron, and then it was the Bozaks and Maroons. And before, Tarasenko, listen, he wasn't a really vocal guy, but he was a leader in that room, and he demanded attention. Jay Bowmeister, another very quiet leader. So, those guys had lots of support. And the best leadership teams, you look at the Boston Bruins with Patrice Bergeron and Krejci and Marchand, Zdeno Chara, everyone says the same thing, that those teams kind of police themselves, but they don't police themselves by one guy, right? Even Sidney Crosby, who's a great captain, he has support around him. And I think for Brayden, when he got named captain last year, there were a lot of young players that were kind of given the torch and saying, okay, here you go, a Robert Thomas, a Jordan Kyrou. So those young players, not only are they, being paid all this money to be top-line centers and wingers, but then you're asking them to become like leadership roles, and that's a lot to put on a young kid. So I think that Brayden certainly has had to really go into the deep end on this. It's taken some time, but now you look where this Blues team is at, and to me, he is one of the main reasons for it. He's kept this group very tight. He's kept them accountable. He's done it the right way, and the best way he's done it is he started focusing on his game, and his game has really never looked this good. So I know that the sell for him would be really high because of where he's at in his career, and obviously he continues to move forward in a good, positive direction, especially with offensive numbers. But when you're looking at this team, and Doug Armstrong looks at this team about where they want to be this year, where they want to be next year, you need players like Brayden Schenn. They're very rare. It's rare to find a player that understands that intangible pulse of the game, where what does this team need? Does it need a hit? Does it need a fight? Does it need something? And a lot of players are so caught up in themselves, and it's rare to find those players that just go out there and understand and look around and support and pick up each other. And Brayden's one of those guys. So you heard it from me here. I can't see him being dealt. I think he's just too valuable to this team.
Joe Vitale joining us right now here in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So, Joe, this is since building off of the question Carey just asked you, not specifically about anybody, like Binnington or Schenn specifically, but there seems to be this thought that it can be a seller's market, yet you're playing some of your best hockey right now. Would it be bad? I know we have 2019 as an example, but would it be bad at all if the Blues just said, we're going to stay pat. We're not going to be a buyer. We're not going to be a seller. We're going to get through this trade deadline. We're not going to make any significant moves, and we're just going to roll with what we have.
Yeah, I think it's very realistic. I think that maybe a move or two might happen. I think that if anything, they're going to get better though. I don't think this is a general manager that wants to take a step backwards. And, Doug's always said that heading into deadlines, it's not really about the week before. It's not really about even the points. For any GM, whether your team's in or your team's out, it's not whether your team's in. Okay, well, we're a buyer. If we're out, or we're a seller. It's less about where you're at in the standings, and it's more about where your team is trending. Like, what's the feel? What's it looking like? And that's why I'm just feeling very optimistic that they're going to do nothing but get better, because everything since Four Nations has led me to see that this is a playoff team. I know that the Dallas game the other night, that to me was a bit of a one-off. I mean, 4 power play goals against. I don't think Joe Holfer had a great first period. Everyone's human. Everyone has bad nights. So I want to kind of let's just sweep that one under the rug. All the games before that, I mean, the 4-game run was a 4-game run. They're not beating the Blackhawks and Blue Jackets. I mean, they took down, of course, the Colorado Avalanche. They get a point, the Winnipeg Jets. They beat the best team in the East, the Washington Capitals. So you don't do that by accident. This is a well-built, constructed playoff team. Now the question becomes, can they get in? If they can get in, it would be really something, because I don't think any team that would finish in that top seed if the Blues fall in that second wild card want to play the St. Louis Blues. And there are a lot of people around the league and the country that feel the exact same way. You look at the goaltending number one with Jordan Binnington. He's just a winner, as we continue to see that, especially a few weeks ago with that Four Nations. And then the defensive group, to me, that what a solid group with Nick Leddy back. No one's talking enough about him. He's been hurt all year. He finally gets reacclimated, gets back in the games. He was a healthy scratch last week, and then he kind of comes back again. And I just think he has never looked this good. So he's kind of been that added piece to the already added Cam Fowler this year, and, of course, Broberg to continue to look more and more like he did this season. So with Colton Frake, we're not even talking about him. I mean, he's close to 20 goals, which is incredible for a defense, and no one's done that since Al McGinnis, I think, back in 2002. So many pieces on the back end. You got good goaltending. Really, is it maybe do you add a forward piece somewhere along the way to kind of propel things? But I don't know. Jim Montgomery has done such a good job communicating to this team. He's done such a great job of just bringing and reinstating these good habits, the details to the game. And I think everyone is starting to really kind of follow suit, pull the contagious. And, you come to the rink now, Stalt, and I see this team, and they just got smiles on their faces, and they're ready for the game. They walk in with this feeling. A lot of times you think that you need results to get confidence. To me, it's always been the opposite. You need to walk in with confidence, and then the results come. And right now, that team is walking in with some swagger.
Joe, you mentioned the details that Jim Montgomery has this team, following and doing on the ice. What are some of the things that you've seen as of recent, some of the little things that maybe fans don't pick up on watching the broadcast or being at the game that they're doing differently now than what they were doing before the Four Nations break?
Yeah, I think there's the obvious one that he tried to get in there. Stopping and starting is a big one. It sounds simple, stop and start, but when players circle, they waste time and space, and then, of course, lanes open up. So stopping and starting is a thing that teaches kids, and even the pros get away from it. Good sticks on the ice, skating through checks. The biggest, maybe most subtle thing that I've seen under Jim Montgomery is in the offensive zone, when they're checking, they're staying on the defensive side of battles. So, to give you an example, if Dylan Holloway's hard on the forecheck, and let's say Seth Jones for the Florida Rangers or Florida Panthers is going back, if he goes back behind his net, Dylan Holloway is going to finish his check. A lot of times, if you finish your check, sometimes you can end up on the wrong side. What I mean by the wrong side is the offensive side. You always got to keep your body between your defensive net and the other player. That's on the defensive side of the battle. So always, where's your defensive net at? Stay on that side of every hit and every battle. So in the forecheck, whether it be the Matthew Joseph Sundqvist line, I mean, they're a great line to watch because they have like just those two torpedoes coming down, and they finish checks, but they're staying on the safe side of those checks after they finish them. Now, what does that do? It doesn't allow you to get on the wrong side, which, of course, then the defenseman goes up the ice, and that's how odd man rushes happen. So a simple, subtle thing that, Jim has done a really, really good job of. But at the same time, you got to applaud the players because they're the ones obviously on the ice trying to do those things. But, starting defense has always started in the offensive zone. Everyone thinks defense structure right in front of your own net. But, good defense starts in the O-zone. And when you do things like that in the O-zone, you stay on the defensive side. You're not going to allow big rushes. You're not going to allow odd man rushes against, which, of course, really just crushes momentum. And it's a suffocating style right now. Like I said, throw that Dallas game out the window from a score sheet. But you know what? 5-on-5, they were a way better team. So it was just the power play that crushed them for Dallas when they scored those 4 power play goals. So they were a much better team 5-on-5. They've been good for the last 2 weeks. And it really has been starting to me in the offensive zone, staying on the right side of the battles. And, of course, everything ensues from there.
Well said, Joe. Great stuff, man. Love the breakdown. Love the insights, too, on the team and how they're feeling. Certainly off the ice, it looks like the chemistry's all there on the ice, so it's great to hear that everything's kind of clicking for them. Everything's firing on all cylinders. We always appreciate you, Joe. We'll talk back. We'll check back with you next week.
Hey, sounds good, boys. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you then.
All right, thanks, Joe. We'll see you. Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We have not done our Around the Diamond feature player today. So we'll get to him next. This is kind of an interesting position player. Where's he going to play? Where's he going to bat? He's a full-time player. He should be, but will they have? Around the Diamond next at 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you have any recycling needs, you need to know about Scrap Mart Metals. If you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, they can help you. They're tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metals add up and how it can help your business cash flow. Or if you have some things around the house that you think can be recycled, maybe you had a garage sale or are having a garage sale. You can't sell all of it. You need to get it out of your house. Scrap Mart can help you in that regard as well. They have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. You can haul it yourself, or they can come pick it up. If it's metal, they will buy it. Copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motor, steel, cast iron, and so much more. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale for you contractors, and they have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metal. So visit them today at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you business owners about setting up a business account to get you rolling and make your life a lot easier. Just go to scrapmartmetals.com. Tell them Carey Davis sent you.
Let's go around the diamond with your St. Louis Cardinals.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. 5:02, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Around the diamond. We teased it okay, gentlemen, because I saw the snake pit. They were trying to guess who it could be.
That's a good job by you.
Hey, thank you.
I got to start listening more to your teases. Clearly, I don't. I remember this one.
Well, this was good, though.
Not that you don't do a good job every time.
No.
You do a great job.
I got some constructive criticism from somebody earlier today that has made me think about the way I do the show and really my health habits, because this guy called me a fat.
I think he's talking about all of us, though.
Oh, no. He said especially cocky, fat, blank Stalter.
Well, but he said this may be the worst show I have ever heard.
Yeah.
So that. And this is we're all a part of that.
Yep.
Well, maybe he only listens to one show, so it could be the best and the worst.
Not anymore.
Not
anyways,
anymore.
the point is, I take this stuff seriously.
Yeah,
so
put that in our office and put a thumbtack in it and leave it up for us to see.
I'm gonna guess.
And the one I got last week.
Yep. We have a lot of criticisms here of this show.
I don't know.
Around the diamond, who is it? The one and only St. Louis Star.
Yes!
Alec Burleson.
Yeah!
Alec Burleson.
Where are you going to play?
First.
Nope. Got a first baseman. That used to be a catcher.
DH.
Got a DH, maybe.
First left DH. I think he'll probably have to be moved around a lot again.
Oh, yay.
This is gonna ruin the tour. This is gonna ruin my idea of him being a St. Louis Star. If he's not gonna play,
no, he's gonna play. Listen, this was your two-hitter for most of last season. So Alec Burleson's he's carved out. When I tease it, is he even gonna be a full-time player? Yes, he's gonna be a full-time player.
You think he's gonna be a full-time player?
Oh yeah.
Where?
I think he's gonna move around a lot. If Wilson Contreras is playing first base, Alec Burleson could be at DH or in the outfield, depending on what Jordan Walker's situation is going to be. Marsh, can you read it?
No.
Okay.
Second to the top.
Hold on.
Refresh it.
Anyways, I'll keep talking as these two read something from the text line. Hit tool is there for Burleson. He's got 20-plus home run potential as his ceiling each and every year. I think he's got good plate discipline. He's got the versatility because he can play multiple positions. He's a full-time player. Solid defensively, high baseball IQ. I think it's all there for Burleson.
So I think so let me ask you this, because we often talk about ceilings of players, right? What is their ceiling? And we would like for the Cardinals to play players that have higher ceilings, right? Does Alec Burleson have a higher ceiling than Nolan Gorman?
Does he have a higher ceiling than Nolan Gorman?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because Burleson affects more than, he's more than what Gorman is. Gorman's a power hitter.
You don't like power, Anthony? Who are you?
I do like power.
You don't like power?
I like high contact. I like the ability to get on base.
I like a guy that plays.
I like a guy that plays too.
He can only hit if you play. You don't like home runs. You don't like ding dong Johnsons.
Why are you doing the Jamie thing?
No, more like if you can't
power.
hit, you
I
won't
do
play.
like power.
I don't think you do.
But you asked me what the ceiling is. Burleson's got a higher ceiling.
Because he can hit the ball more?
Yes, he could do more.
Can he hit it further?
This was your two-hole hitter last year.
I get it.
You know who else hits in the two-hole? Damn near every good baseball player in ever over the last 2 decades.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I won't even say what I was going to say.
Were you going to go dirty? Like Jamie?
No.
Why are you stepping into that role? He's not here.
Going to do that.
You don't have to do that.
I wasn't going to do that. I was going to go negative like Carey. And I decided not to.
You know what? You admitted it. Bottom line.
There you go.
All right, so what's the impact of Burleson? To me, everyday player, obviously, he hit second for you.
Okay.
You don't like it. I can see it on your face.
I have no clue what this line. The lineup game for the first 2 weeks is going to be outstanding. Because we're not going to have a clue.
Yeah.
We are not going to have a fast lane clue who's batting where and why.
Splashback Dude says St. Louis 2-hole.
That's what I see.
Is that what you're going to go? Kind of like he's your ace.
I didn't want to be negative. You see, I'm too negative sometimes.
You're going to be negative, be funny at least. Yeah.
So, try to be positive.
Okay. What's your biggest concern?
That he doesn't get enough opportunities, enough at bats. Like you don't have a place for him. Because that's why I asked you who has the more upside or who has the higher ceiling. Is it Gorman? And then I was going to ask you, but you didn't let me get past Gorman, so we stopped there. But then I was going to ask you, is it Walker? Is it Contreras? Because
Walker has a higher.
Those are the positions, whether it's DH, right field, or first base, that you would be looking at Burley playing. And so if he doesn't have the higher ceiling or the higher upside than those three guys, then there may not be enough. This is why, again, Nolan Arenado being on this roster makes it completely difficult. Now, Nolan Gorman he got a hit today, but he hasn't been hitting the ball particularly well this spring training. So, I think it'll all work itself out. But I don't know. You tell me you have an idea of what the opening day lineup is looking like. Who's playing where?
Yeah.
You do. I told Marshy we should do this here shortly. Okay. We should do the lineup. We should do our projected lineup, where they're playing, where they're hitting, and we can probably do the starting five.
Okay.
Five pitchers, starting rotations.
Let's do it right now. We got Win.
You want to do it right now?
Yeah. You got Win. This is what we think.
Right now.
This is what we think the Cardinals are going to do.
Wait, are we going to workshop this? Are we going to write our own? I feel like we need time for this.
I do too. He just sprung it on me like, do it now.
If we want to live up to the worst show ever, we freelance.
Why don't we finish this conversation and maybe do it next? I'm not done yet.
Okay.
This guy.
What's your biggest concern?
My biggest concern.
Or what's your impact? Let's go. Hold on.
You didn't give him a chance.
What do you think? Well, he was typing. He was laughing at something that Exeter wrote. I didn't know he was.
Give me a chance, Anthony.
I didn't know he was locked into this segment or not. Marsh's got a lot of stuff going on.
What about my uncle? Did you give him a chance?
What is his biggest impact?
Spider-Man reference. The biggest impact?
Yeah. What do you think what do you think his impact is?
I think
you got to listen if you want to participate.
He wrote it down. He wrote it down.
Then you should know. Are you guys done?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't feel like doing this.
Oh, come on.
No, for me, I think he's going to be an on-base guy. Like, I feel like he could hit 15 to 20 home runs. I'm hoping over 20, maybe 25. I'm feeling real good about him. But I do think he's going to be a doubles machine this year. He has really good bat-to-ball. He makes contact, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a doubles machine this season. I still think you should hit him, too. Now, where he plays, I have no idea. And that's actually, to Carey, what you said, the biggest question mark is where is this guy going to play? And honestly, for me, I don't necessarily believe that this season is going to be like stagnant lineup.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of moving parts. It's going to be a lot like last season. Everything, to be honest. But I think Alec Burleson is a huge part of this lineup, and I think he's overlooked by a lot of people, especially in this room.
Whoa. That's what he was trying to
Yeah. You're right, CD. That was loaded. He was waiting to say that to us. Whoa. He wanted to say that
St.
to
Louis
us.
Star.
Yeah.
I've been saying it for months now. St. Louis Star.
Can we just get it on the record that Alec Burleson is your favorite Cardinal?
Yeah, he's up there for sure.
The one you root for the most.
Well, I have to now, but he's.
You do have to now. You are
commit to the bit.
I'm locked in.
Locked
it's
in.
not even a bit, Anthony.
It's true. It is how you feel. There are bits that we do, but then there are how we truly feel. You truly feel that Alec Burleson could be a St. Louis Star.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's a funny guy. I think he can hit the ball. He doesn't strike out compared to a lot of other people.
Right.
I think he's a fun ball player to watch, and he's got a cool-looking batting stance. And he's a lefty.
And you're a lefty.
And I'm a lefty.
Now it's starting to come together.
Do you see yourself in Alec Burleson?
So. The beard, the hair.
Yeah.
The vibe.
Funny guy. Marsh is funny.
Nice guy.
Nice.
Good guy.
Good, humble.
Yep.
Likes WWE.
They might.
He would have opinions on it.
I haven't seen Burley and Marsh in the same room.
What's his face doing the heel thing?
Have you?
What?
Have you ever seen Burley and Marsh in the same room?
We've been in the same ballpark.
You have not.
No.
You've never seen him and Alec Burleson in the same room.
Wow. Yeah. You are.
It makes sense now. We're talking about him.
You know what I might do? I might buy an Alec Burleson jersey. I might buy some white pants.
Yeah.
Some red cleats. And I might just show up to the studio one day in all Cardinals gear.
I love it.
Okay.
Now, I won't be dropping $200+ on a jersey.
Well,
no, sir.
Might have to go
Last time
somewhere
you-
else for that, but
Last time you showed up as a player, it didn't work out well that evening.
that is true.
All right, so can we do the lineup thing?
Yes. All right, go.
Or hold on. Let's.
No.
Why don't we do this?
He's fine.
Why don't we gather ourselves?
We're going to do a next segment?
I want to gather myself.
And then think about what we, because you asked CD, you said, do you have an idea of what the Cardinals will have as their opening day lineup?
I don't.
And I said, yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
Because I know this team.
I want to see your lineup.
All right. We'll do that next on 101 ESPN. So my friends at Mentality today, I love going down there. It's a program that I truly appreciate because when I started, I didn't feel my best. I didn't feel like it was working for me in the gym or motivation or anything. And I went to Mentality and they talked to me about the symptoms of low testosterone, and that includes fatigue. And I mean, I'm talking about fatigue throughout the day, and even when you consume caffeine, it's a big crash afterwards. You don't feel great. You feel disgusting, right? Low energy, weight gain, muscle loss, mood swings, irritability. I'm not ashamed to say that all impacted me as well when it comes to feeling irritable all the time. Part of it was just flat out because I didn't feel like I was giving it my all and doing everything I could as a husband, a father, working here, everything. So when it comes to Mentality, they helped me get on their program after they drew my blood and realized, I was low on testosterone, deficient in certain vitamins, and they helped me. I stopped chasing the things that weren't working and started following their program. It's easy. 2 locations. They have a Mentality in South County and one in Chesterfield. Their people are fantastic. And again, it works. They draw your blood every 10 weeks or so. They make sure nothing else is going on health-wise that you might need to notify your doctor with. I feel healthier, right? I feel at my best, sure, but I feel healthier on Mentality. A lot of people have come up to Jamie and I, hey, does it work? It absolutely works. Go check it out for yourself or visit them online at lowtusa.com. It's Mentality. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. All right, here we go. Let's do the lineup for our Cardinals. The projected lineup. CD, you said he struggled with this because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what the Cardinals are going to do.
I got a lineup that I like, and then I got a lineup that I think that they will actually use.
All right, I put together the lineup that I think they're gonna use.
So which one do we do first?
Marsh, what'd you do?
I put one together that I like and/or I also believe they will use.
Look at that.
I didn't understand the assignment. I thought we were just doing what we think the Cardinals are going to do.
Well, yeah, no, like I think they're going to do this. I think I'm right.
Oh, you go first.
I think it's going to. Okay, hold on. We'll do it together. Win, right?
Win.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I got Burleson here.
I got Newt here.
I have Burleson.
Okay. Contreras.
Yep.
Yes.
No, Arenado.
Yep.
Fifth, I've got Donnie.
I got Burley. This is my Cardinal lineup.
Yeah, the one that you think
I
they're going to do.
Yes. Use, yeah.
I also wouldn't be shocked if they flipped Donovan and Burleson. I wouldn't be shocked by it. But I got Burleson 2, Contreras, Arenado, Donovan 5.
I have Newt Bar here at 5.
You got the Newt at 5. Okay.
I got Burley at 5.
I got the Newt at 6. Playing center fields because they're going to skew defense for offense.
Shame on you.
No, not shame on me.
I got Herrera here.
Shame on them. Herrera at 6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I have Donovan at 6. I had Donovan at 5, Newt at 6, but then I flipped it. So I'll go Donovan 6th. I think Newt has more pop.
This is what we think they're going to do. 7, I got Walker.
7, I got Donnie.
Okay.
7, I have Herrera.
8, I've got Gorman.
8, I've got Walker.
8, I have Walker and/or Gorman, depending on Walker and his
injury
health.
Situation.
So
okay.
yeah, and that
I'm assuming he's healthy.
Let's say he's healthy. I have Walker in here, Gorman off the bench.
Number 9, this is where I have Pedro Pajes because they're gonna choose him over
3
Herrera.
Catchers? Oh, you don't have Herrera in here.
I don't have Herrera in here.
Oh.
Not the opening day. I think they're gonna lean on
because
Pajes.
Pedro is that much better.
No.
Okay.
You mean a hitter? No. Defensively, I think they're gonna roll with him.
Is he that much better? 14 people.
Is
Herrera
he that much better?
6.
Defensively, I think they think he is.
I don't think it's that much better. No. I got Scott here.
I do too. I think Victor Scott wins that opening day center field job.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason why I have this lineup, because the Cardinals have a need to go righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. Can't have 3 of the same batting from the same side in the lineup.
It's illegal.
I thought so. I looked into it, and I don't think it is, though. Maybe it's in St. Louis. Maybe once you cross the river.
No, it's illegal in 49 of the 50 states.
Hell of a question here from the 314. Why do you all have Burleson starting over Gorman? Seems wrong.
Burleson starting over Gorman?
I got him starting over. I don't have Gorman in my lineup.
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, that was the question.
I don't have him in my lineup.
Burleson starting where over? I'm sorry, I don't understand it.
Over Gorman, like just in the lineup.
Because Burleson's a better player? I feel like the brother and stepbrothers. Yeah.
Damn it, Daniel!
No, yeah, Burleson's the better player. AB in the snake pit goes, who's our best catcher? He's playing first base.
He's not a catcher anymore, Anthony.
He's playing first base.
He's not a catcher. He's a first baseman.
Should be still catching.
No. They made the decision, just like they made the decision to put him in the outfield last year. This time they stuck with it. Okay?
No. Not all decisions are right. Just ask me.
Anthony, you make good decisions.
I've made a lot of bad decisions.
We all have.
I mean, a lot.
We all have. We're still here to tell the story.
Barely, but yes.
But you're here. You woke up. You're here.
What's the worst lineup they could put out there?
I thought you were going to say, what's the worst decision I've made?
I'm not prepared to talk about that. What's the worst lineup they can put together?
And not being like an idiot and putting Pajes leading off.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't know if they can have a worse one where like I feel like I hate this lineup based on what they could do and my expectations. I don't think they have a worse one. I think some combination of this. So like obviously I I would rather have Scott or Siani in center field, not Newt. But I also wouldn't have Walker in the outfield. I know a lot of people disagree with that. A lot of people like Walker's athleticism, and they think eventually he's going to be a great defender. I struggle with that. I wouldn't have Contreras at first base. I would have Contreras behind the plate and Burleson playing the majority of the time at first base. That's just me. I would lean more toward what's my best defense as opposed to how many bats can I jam into a lineup that may not be great.
How many games do you think the Cardinals go before they change the lineup and or personnel out? And then, well, I guess 2
days, 2 games.
Two. Yeah. They're gonna.
You think they go? I think Thursday, Saturday, same lineup, and then Sunday's different.
No, I think you got 3 different lineups. I think Thursday's different than Saturday because it's Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think you'll see 3 different lineups.
Oh, God.
I do.
I won't be in town, I don't have to worry about it.
I think Ollie wants to have a stagnant lineup.
Then have a stagnant lineup, Anthony.
While also
it's not that hard.
While also getting
you take a piece of paper,
all these players involved.
You take a piece of paper, you write the names down, and you put the same name down 2 to 3 days in a row.
Okay.
In the same spot.
Hey,
I don't
you
think
like
it's that
Herrera,
hard.
right?
I do.
You think Herrera's going to be the catcher?
He is. Why the hell they move Contreras to first base?
What if the Twins steal 5 bases on him on Thursday?
Then
You got him back on Saturday?
Then Saturday, make sure they only steal 4. That's progress.
Carey.
Or
you're not being reasonable right now, man.
Quit letting runners get on base. What is wrong with you?
You're blaming them?
Hell yeah.
For Herrera throwing it into center field?
Nah, hold them. Do your job.
All right.
Show it up your stride.
We're going to talk to Battlehawks quarterback Manny Wilkins next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues off today. However, they'll take on the Los Angeles Kings tomorrow. Pregame starts at 8:30. Puck drop will be at 9:30. If you missed our conversation today with Joe Vitale, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Earlier today, it was announced that Jordan Walker left the game in spring training in West Palm Beach with pain in his left knee. Per the Cardinals, according to Derek Gould, he will be reevaluated once the team returns to Jupiter to determine cause and severity. He left after one at-bat and then catching a fly ball in right field in the second inning. Once again, if you missed any conversation from today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the podcast page on that 101 ESPN mobile app. Speaking of interviews, we have quarterback of your St. Louis Battlehawks, Manny Wilkins, joining the show next, right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh. The Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Super Bowl champion Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Collier and Thompson phone line where the Battlehawks quarterback Manny Wilkins now joins us. What's up, Manny?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
We're doing great. We appreciate you joining us. I imagine you're fired up for another season. How's the training coming?
Yeah, man, definitely we're fired up. Everybody's down here. We've been in training camp now for about 2 days of practice, and man, it's really exciting time to be a Battlehawk. I think we got a really good group of guys who are all committed to one goal of really going out there and winning these ball games.
So you guys are switching offensive coordinators now. Bruce Gradkowski goes to the league, and you have an internal replacement here. What can you tell us about some of the differences of the offense, or are there any differences when it comes to last year's offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think every offensive coordinator is going to have their own wrinkles, but first off, major congratulations to Bruce on earning that job. It's very, very, very well deserved, and we're really looking forward to see what he does there. With Phil, man, we're really excited for everything that he's been, presenting to us. I think he's very excited about this opportunity, and we can see the fire in his eyes and the heart and the passion that he brings every day is something that I think can't go underappreciated. So we're really looking forward to it. I think Phil's gonna bring in his new things that's gonna, hopefully light us up there on the field, and we're about to put on a show.
So, Manny, you all got a new offensive coordinator. You also got a new quarterback coach in Seneca Wallace. Tell me what you have learned about him, and have you had the chance to watch any of his film on YouTube at all?
Yeah, man, I got to do my research on my quarterback coach, man. I got to tap in and see what's going on. So, man, for me, it's such a blessing in disguise to have somebody, who has done it at such a high level for such a long time. And, again, like just the type of man that, he is and how he's talking to us and how real he is and honest with us about this process. I'm really looking forward to seeing where our relationship goes, seeing where the season goes. But, man, I know he was really out there hooping on the field, so I'm really looking forward to learning from him and picking his brain and the knowledge that he has and his expertise, because I think it can go a long way. So I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have him around.
I remember him at Iowa State. I remember I really enjoyed watching him play. Manny Wilkins joins us right now from the Battlehawks here on 101 ESPN. Manny, so last year you were able to step in. You started 2 games when A.J. McCarron got hurt. Now A.J. is gone. When it comes to your opportunities this year, have you set goals for this upcoming season? If so, what are they, whether it's a personal or a team goal?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have goals that I put forth in front of me. to be the leader of this football team, one, to earn the teammates' trust, to earn my coaching staff's trust, to earn the GM's trust as an organization. I think that's most important as a leader. Then to really ultimately let my play do the talking. I don't really have to do much besides go out there and execute and get the job done. I think that's what the motto for me this year is, just executing at a high level and being the best Manny, the best five that I can be out there to elevate the other guys around me. If I can do that, if I can get guys the ball, if I can go out there and have a group of guys who get to show up every single day and love their life because of the group of people that we're around, I think that's going to make my job easy to go out there and ultimately get the job done.
Now, Manny, the season obviously didn't end the way that you all wanted it to. How long did you give yourself to process at the end of the year, and how long did it take for you to get back to work and get to go and getting into the groove of getting working out?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to this, you definitely got to give yourself a little bit of a break. So I took my break. I had my opportunity to travel around a little bit and be on tour and see the world a little bit, be in Europe. And throughout America, we had some shows and stuff like that. But then I've been out in Dallas now for about a month and a half, 2 months, getting some work in up at SMU. My staff is up there from Arizona State. So to have another place that kind of feels like home and getting up here and having some of the guys come out early on the team to come get some extra reps in, to get some timing and things like that, I think was very beneficial for us. And we're going to see those things come to fruition now being out here on the field. So I think it's very important to step away for a second, but at the same time, this is what we do. It's our life. You never really are far from it when you're in it.
Manny, you're boots on the ground, man. You've been in training camp. We don't have an opportunity to obviously watch you guys practice. What area of the team is kind of showing out to be the strength right now?
I'm not saying this as a cliche, but I just think that us as a group, the whole team has collectively agreed, especially our first day of practice and coming in today, just the energy everybody's coming with. I think this whole group as a whole is what's most exciting. I think you're going to get a group of guys out there who you see are extremely passionate about what they're doing and looking to better themselves every single day. And there's a good group of men out there who, everybody has a special and unique story. So if you have a chance to really get to learn these guys on this team, I think it is a remarkable group of people. Now,
you mentioned the coaching staff you played for is at SMU now, but you did go to Arizona State. Did you happen to catch that playoff game that Arizona State played versus Texas, and how are you feeling the way that it went down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate at the end of the game, but you can't be more proud of what Kenny has done with the program and seeing what they were able to accomplish and what they're going to continue to accomplish. I think there's great things ahead for them. The quarterback had a really good year. They got some really good playmakers. The running back Cam, he made some really good plays. I'm excited to see what he does at the next level. And some of their young receivers, man, I know they got some talent coming back. So I'm excited to see what they have to bring. And I know Kenny's going to make sure that he has those guys fired up, ready, passionate, hungry. And, he's a real student of this game and a student of life. So I think that's why you see how well that he's doing, because of how good of a teacher and how much he loves what he's doing. So, yeah.
Manny, you mentioned you were on tour, and for those that are here in St. Louis, they might not know that you're a music artist. When it comes to being a music artist and you're performing, do you get more nervous when you're on the football field performing in front of fans or as a music artist?
Man, honestly, I haven't had a chance to be on the stage, actually. I was really just ultimately being there for my brother Party. He had a really big album that he dropped this last year, and he had another big album that he just dropped with Drake this year. So to see a lot of the things in his world come to fruition, I was just doing my best to, support him and do everything that I possibly can to learn and be a fly on the wall and ultimately help him achieve the things that he wanted to achieve and continue to achieve. It's like being on another team. You got to know your role. You got to know how to move around. And he's doing, you know, as a mentor and as a brother and as a friend, like, you know, like he's teaching me so much, whether he knows it or not. Like, so just us being around each other and me being able to experience that and travel around the world, which is like something not a lot of people get the chance to actually do. And, you know, I don't take that for granted. So it's a blessing.
Manny Wilkins, Battlehawks quarterback, joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. So I understand, Manny, that you perform, you mix, you got you really have your hands involved here in the music world. Is this something that you always pursued?
Yeah, I think it was started around high school and became more of a thing in college, and then as I got to being in the league, it became more of a thing. And then once I took that break, I really, really locked in and was, you know, exploring that passion and getting better at a craft of something that I love. So I've been doing it for now, I guess, damn near 10 years. So it's something that I'm definitely passionate and love.
Well, Manny, when you get here, Marsh has an album. He's done some music. I sing. I got some songs that I've done. You want me to get on the track with you? Let me know. We're here. You just come to the studio, holler at me. We got you. We'll do something together.
We definitely got to tap in.
Yes, let's make it happen.
There you go. You guys can all collab. Manny.
The lab. We got to get in the lab.
Manny, we're rooting for you, man. We're looking forward to the Battlehawks season. Best of luck to you, and hopefully we get a chance to catch up with you down the road, too.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys having me. You guys have a good day. God bless you guys.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Same to you, Manny. Manny Wilkins, the Battlehawks quarterback, former Arizona State Sun Devil. Cam Scadaboo was awesome to watch this year. I am interested to see, game. Like, what if he is an NFL back. I think he is, but I can see him going mid-round, maybe bouncing around. My point is, maybe Cam Scadaboo teams up with Manny Wilkins and becomes a Battlehawk one day. Just saying.
I don't know. I'd take him on the Vikings. Just saying.
You got a running back.
You got Aaron Jones.
You can never have enough.
Jones.
You can never have enough running backs.
Look at this. Look at how it's turning.
CD though. By the way, Super Bowl champion, undrafted Super Bowl champion, doesn't believe you can get one in the later rounds. You have to draft one in the first.
You know how hard that was. Get drafted. Hell with that. The hell you talking about?
You're turning around on me again.
Draft all the running backs.
All right, we have your shot to score a pair of tickets to see your St. Louis Blues take on the Vancouver Canucks on March 20th at Enterprise Center. The first 12,000 fans that night will receive a mystery Blues hat courtesy of Ticketmaster. Get your tickets now at stlouisblues.com/promotions. You can also register to win tickets to the game at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. Yesterday I asked who was the first member of the Fast Lane to have their birthday in March, because all of our birthdays are in March. Who's the second? So I won't tell you who's first. If you're listening, you know. You can eliminate one of us. Who is the second birthday in the month of March? If you know that answer, text in 314-399-9646. You'll win the Blues tickets for the 101st texture with the correct answer. We will wrap things up next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Right now at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they have their Nissan Now sales event. They have over 800 vehicles right now, new and used, all in one location. I've been talking about how they've got over 700. Now it's over 800 new and used, so they've got the inventory, they've got the selection, they've got the pricing, all available for you at Auto Centers Nissan. And during the Nissan Now sales event, they also have great deals, so you can enjoy exclusive offers like $359 down and $359 per month on select new Kicks, or $449 down and $449 per month on select new Frontiers. Not leases on that either. 0 down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles, or no payments for 6 months. That's right, no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. 2025 Nissan models also come with the free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, get that peace of mind with their 30-day return promise. If you got credit issues, if you're currently stuck in a loan, Don't worry. At Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they're confident anyone who walks through the door can drive away in a brand new Nissan. Check them out right off I-55 in McNutt, just minutes from South County. You can check them out in Herculaneum or visit them online at autocentersnissan.com. Missouri sports fans, got great news for you. Underdog Fantasy is available in our area, so you can check out Underdog Fantasy just by going to the website or check them out on the app. And I got a special code for you that you can use at the end of this read that you can take advantage of playing Underdog Fantasy. What Underdog Fantasy is, I'm sure you've already have heard me talk about it, me use it. I love going there. You can pick several different players. You can choose 3, you can choose 5, you can choose 8 if you want to. If you got a hunch on an NBA game, you don't have to just play that NBA game and use just those players. You can pick a game from tonight's Warriors matchup or jump to an NHL game if you want. You can choose players' stats higher or lower. You got a gut feel on something. You're always telling your buddies, hey, listen, I know that this player goes off on a Tuesday when he's in Charlotte, whatever your hunch is, you could play it at Underdog Fantasy. You could play for as little as $1 and win up to 1,000 times your money. Everybody loves playing Underdog Fantasy. Billions of people have won tons of money playing Underdog Fantasy. Use my promo code Anthony after you download the Underdog app. Again, Anthony, you'll get that $1,000, up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, just download the Underdog Fantasy app, plug in that promo code Anthony, and then you can earn up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make that first deposit at Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, quickly, what we learned today. CD, what did we learn today?
I learned some people think they know you just because they listen to you for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, it's a
Which
good
is
call.
good.
That is good.
But it can also be bad if they don't really know you.
That very true.
You know?
Some feel as though that you're a cocky fat A,
And that's,
which is what somebody
and you're not
wrote to me.
cocky at all.
But, you know,
Or
some
a fat
people...
A.
Yeah, the fat A thing,
That was weird.
I don't really get.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder, like, were you talking to somebody else? The cocky thing, when I, like, get going on a rant or I'm using, like, satire or sarcasm, I can see how somebody thinks I'm cocky.
Everybody doesn't understand sarcasm.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's okay.
It's all good. Anyways, so
We
yeah, I
love
learned.
you anyways.
Darn right. Yeah. You know, Carey, if you don't mind, I'd like to share what you learned with you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because I think you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is coming from the fat A. Go on, Marsh. What'd you learn?
I learned that you are a cocky fat A.
Hey. Wow.
You know, truth hurts sometimes.
Yeah. No, I never thought about it before until
we got that email.
And then I really started to think, man, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I need to look at you differently now.
I might be able to. You see me every day. You sit across from me every day.
Yeah.
This is the first time you're thinking, man.
Did you get some music on your iPod Shuffle?
You know, Tanisha did ask from the snake pit. Yeah, I have not yet.
What?
Yeah, I know. I have not yet.
You can't work out.
Well, I have been working out.
Really?
Yep.
Without the iPod Shuffle?
Without the iPod Shuffle,
have you though? Because
it's not really
it's
working.
not
kind of a fat A.
You're right. Yeah, that's a good call, Marsh. Yeah, so my computer that I've got all my my iTunes saved on, because like we have a work computer, but I don't have the iTunes on that.
Nah.
I've got it on the desktop. Remember when I was talking about earlier where like you make the refresh on the computer and it takes a while because you haven't used it?
That's what you were doing?
Yeah. I need to update that bitch, you know what I mean?
Taking a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, Marsh, go ahead.
All right, our 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day is going to go out to having your nickname be Oil Can.
Oil Can.
Yes.
Boyd. That's right.
Second star of the day goes out to the St. Louis Star in the making, Alec Burleson.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our first star of the day, love the interview. We just talked with quarterback of your St. Louis Battlehawks, Manny Wilkins.
Yeah.
I loved what he had to say.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you can absolutely root for this upcoming year. And beyond, Manny Wilkins, first star.
Splashback Deuce says, I was called an arrogant, I don't know if I could say that. Can I say that? Probably not.
Yeah.
I was called an arrogant P word in the Gauntlet once. I feel you, Ant. LOL. Splashback Deuce. All right. As Carey said, we love you all. Appreciate you listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back tomorrow. Jamie will be back with us. For Andrew Marsh, for Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.